Hi, I'm Jonathan Holmes, and you're listening to PodTea'd episode 55.
No, I have nothing to say. It is Binding of Isaac, but with pixel
Whoa.
No. For the amount of time I've played it, that's literally all it is to me. I played it twice. I understand there's more to it than that.
I'm preparing my testicles in anticipation, Samuel.
I don't think you do, bro. I don't think you do.
I like how we all became dirty old men after he said that.
Tommy and his commissar lived alone in a small house on a hill. Tommy kept to himself, coding applications and playing with his iOS device as his commissar watched Polish propaganda on the television. Life was simple, and they were both happy. That was until the day Tommy's commissar heard a voice from above. "Your son has become corrupted by capitalism. He needs to be saved." "I will do my best to save him, my Stalin," Tommy's commissar replied, rushing into Tommy's room, removing all that was evil from his life. Tommy, watching through a crack in his door, trembled in fear. Scrambling around his room to find a hiding place, he noticed a trapdoor to the basement, hidden under his iPad. Without hesitation, he flung open the hatch, just as his commissar burst through the door and threw himself down into the unknown depths below. That's Tommy. Say hi, Tommy.
Hello. That was very amusing. Well done.
I had to mute that all the way through just because I was laughing.
I would like I'll say, hello, I'm Matty. I find it very hard to believe that Polish people are ever happy, though.
I'm right.
Yeah,
that's why they all have to
invest
invest in Polish capitalism. So that they can be happy.
I mean, it is a fairy tale, so I'm gonna let it go.
Well then, who else is joining us? Matt said he was back. Hey, Matt.
Sam.
Hello.
Matt.
Hello, I'm here.
Matt, talk
Shit.
with words.
I am me. What do you want to know? Fuck.
I don't know.
I just fucking
What does it taste like?
got done watching the new trailer that was on the live stream from BlizzCon about Blizzard's new IP called Overwatch. It's superhero themed.
Would you consider it hella dope?
It's pretty cute. It's pretty fucking cute.
Is it a Nintendo game?
No.
Thank God.
So I'm pretty happy about that. It's like it looks like the fucking Incredibles. Like it could easily be set in the Incredibles universe.
Looks like the fucking Incredibles.
Yeah, the fucking Incredibles.
Did you realise that's the porn parody, right?
Yeah.
That's the one I've seen.
It's according to IGN, it's their first new IP in 17 years. I'm Adam, by the way.
Are you really?
Yes.
Hello, Adam.
I never introduced myself.
Is there a Sam here?
You are special. Hello, Sam.
I'm not sure I like Sam.
I'm sure I do, so that's okay.
The thing, Sam, right? He has killed a lot of people.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. But I mean, like, everyone's got their vices, right?
The thing is, like, Sam, right? He doesn't quite understand that when you take people and then just like hot glue foxtails and stuff to them, they won't survive.
I've never done
that. Prove it.
That's actually very difficult. That's true. That's true. I can't prove that
I'm pretty sure you do that all the time, mate.
Pretty sure I don't. But whatever. If you think that I do that and that's what gets you off at night, then that's fine.
You don't want to know what gets me off at night.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Indeed.
What have we all been playing?
Funny you should mention that.
Hey. Does this mean we're talking about
a video game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
So, for the listeners' benefit,
Oh, wow, that was a celebratory can opening.
God, I hate.
I'm drinking Green Label Monster. Thank you.
Whoa.
I don't
swank.
partake anymore, but this is a special occasion.
Yeah, so for the listeners' benefit, we are recording at the time of about a day and a bit after Binding of Isaac Rebirth came out.
Glorious time.
And it is a beautiful time.
It is a beautiful
For some. For most of us. For most of us in this call.
For others.
For like 2/3 of this call, it is a glorious time.
For the rest of the people can just go fuck off, to be honest.
Okay, bye!
Here's the thing. There was a Nintendo Direct earlier yesterday, so I will be ruining everyone's fun, because Andrea's not here, so I will be the only one who cares about that. But for now...
I care quite a bit about the video of the Splatoon single player.
Number one, I think that's fantastic, and two, that was not an invitation to start it, because I want to talk about Binding of Isaac.
Oh,
Binding of
I've
Isaac.
not really
Sam. Okay, you know what? We should start with,
What is the game?
No, we should start...
Because people, a lot of people out there might not even know what it is.
Someone from fucking Mars won't know.
That's why we're going to use a filthy plebeian's viewpoint on this. Sam, tell us about the game.
Okay, I have played all of about 20 minutes of it. Maybe
Tell
25.
us about
That's actually more than I've played of the original.
Tell us about every minute in detail.
Okay, right. First minute, I realise, it's basically the same, but not in Flash anymore, so it doesn't make the computer overheat.
It runs a lot smoother.
Yeah, well, frankly, I don't take that as a feature of the game. I take that as a given because it's not running in Flash anymore.
Yeah.
And then I say,
to load on the Vita.
I've not been able to play the Vita version yet. I do actually
I'm playing
own
the
it. I
Vita
should
version
clarify.
right now.
I should clarify. I own the Vita version. However, if I
Or
was
monster.
fuck off, it was free. If I own the Vita version, I cannot play it without updating my firmware. And if I update my firmware, I lose access to my Kingdom Hearts. And I want to finish that before I update my firmware. So, I refuse to update my firmware until I finish Birth by Sleep Final Mix, because I want to play it. I don't want to play Isaac as much as I do Kingdom Hearts.
I think your priorities are way out of whack.
Yeah.
Because really, what I could do, right, is I have 2 people on my Steam game sharing that own Binding of Isaac Rebirth.
Good
I
people.
could download it and play it off of their accounts. I'm not going to, however,
What?
because I know it will piss you all off.
I hate you, Sam.
In fairness, for what I've played of it, it is a better version of the original. There's extra stuff, but I didn't play the original to know what the extra stuff is.
Hey, Sam, you haven't told us what the game is yet.
Yeah,
Is it a third-person shooter?
Technically,
Set in
yes.
space?
Technically, it is a third-person shooter.
You do
that was
shoot
meant to
tears
be
out of
ironic.
your eyes.
But I think the most interesting part of this is that for people who are aware of PodTea'd history, first of all, God help you, why are you listening to this?
That's a very good.
But you may also have noticed that the sort of things that I play never usually fall in line with what others play, unless they are
That
Andrea.
Venn diagram is pretty horrendous.
More
yeah.
specifically me.
Yes, I mean, I think it's us two that don't really talk about games as much as anyone else, because we never play the same games.
Mm-hmm.
Until now.
Until now.
Wow. It's good, talking to Adam Owen is gonna be weird.
How do you even talk to that guy?
So, many a year ago, Binding of Isaac came out, and it was by Edmund Macmillan as a originally as a pointless Flash game that he just fancied making after or during production of Super Meat Boy.
What I gathered, it was a way of unwinding after Super Meat Boy's debugging process.
And it was so stupid, it was like a Flash game made in Flash, and it was...
Since Super Meat Boy was a Mario tribute, I guess, this is a Legend of Zelda inspired game.
Yeah,
so
the 2D Zeldas.
Well, Super Meat Boy...
The 2D Zelda from 1.
Super Meat Boy is more of an N+ clone than a Mario.
I don't know what N+ is.
Yeah, because
I know what N+ is, and not really.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Not really. It's not so much time trialing, more about reflex.
Anyway, we're digressing here.
Yes.
So It came out, and it was beloved by many, although it was horrendously broken, because
And we
it
still
was...
haven't said what genre it is.
It's a top-down shooter, and it's all...
It's basically, imagine the original Legend of Zelda, but you're shooting tears and it's kind of bullet hell.
And it's also a roguelike, as in it's got roguish elements. All of the rooms are randomly generated, and you can collect all sorts of different items and weapons and costumes and all these little things that help you get stronger and better in different ways.
And really, that's the strength, isn't it? The items that overlap and synergize in many ways.
That's a big part of it.
I'd say, although that is definitely a true aspect, and that is definitely a benefit of the game, I think the real genius of the game is in the art direction and presentation.
It's a sort of feel-bad game.
It's dedicated.
Yeah.
Very depressing. You don't see a lot of depressing, but are still fun to play, if you know what I mean.
Well, it's sort of a kind of Judeo-Christian themed game.
The intro I did in the beginning is basically just the story of the game.
It's the story
but
of...
without the, Russia taking over Poland.
Hence why it was not allowed on the 3DS, right?
Because religion, sir.
Because Nintendo
You can't
decided...
mention a real religion?
Yeah, you can't mention religion.
Fucking
Yeah,
monk.
as in, the thing about the game is that although there are a lot of games out there that make mention of religion, there are a lot of JRPGs that use Christianity as pretty much a metaphor for organized evil religions that are inherently corrupt.
Hey, I just killed the boss guy.
Whoa! Yeah, all these religions are usually corrupt and fake, as in they're not based on actual religions.
It's something that's a little bit wacky. And people that are die-hard
Binding of Isaac, it's very clear from the get-go that it's all dedicated to Christianity and both the Old and New Testament.
Didn't Nintendo have a problem with it essentially directly referencing things, and they were like basically...
Christian broadcast on the television is is in the opening scene.
Yeah.
I think God said is one of the first lines in it.
Yeah, and there are items called the Bible, and deal
with the devil.
You can unlock numerous other characters other than Isaac, which is the name of Abraham's son who God told to sacrifice.
Good times.
You can also play as Cain. You can play as Eve. You can play as Mary Magdalene.
Samson.
You can play as Lazarus.
You can't play as Lazarus in the original game, though.
That is in Rebirth, but
that's a new one.
You get the idea. It's very, very clear about what it's referencing. It's referencing.
I don't know if that's his greatest strength is the title of I think very much so, yes. But I think the reason people keep coming back is very interesting to see a game that is so tightly wound to those things that are so well ingrained into our sort of culture. No matter what culture, background you come from, it's very difficult to consume kind of Western media without running into Judeo-Christian reference.
Yes.
And for instance, you only have to watch a popular show like The Supernatural. Or Supernatural to know that there's like angels and demons all over the place and all sorts of Satan things going on.
Hell, even The Simpsons.
Yes. Oh God,
this, constantly.
I see what you mean. As in, a lot of pop culture has references to these elements. I usually find that what makes Binding of Isaac special is in how explicit it is. Because
absolutely.
Having an angel or a devil in your show, although you are making a reference to a part of Christian mythology, it's never as explicit or specific as Binding of Isaac gets, which is pretty much an entire critique on the very concept of organised religion.
Isn't it? It's heavily critical of organised religion from the very, very outset.
At least fundamentalists.
Apparently, although I haven't actually watched a musical, I think it's sort of the same as how the Book of Mormon has a lot of references to the scripture that the Mormon religion uses, as in it's very, very dedicated to showing every single aspect of it.
Mm.
Yeah, it doesn't dance around the issues.
It certainly doesn't, no.
Book of Mormon dances around the issues, but it's musical.
Literally.
Oh!
But anyway, again, we sort of digress.
It's a game,
The game was remade. It took, how long? 3-4 years of development? 3 years of development. I don't know how long it's been since the game originally came out.
What, 2011?
What, Binding of Isaac came out in 2011?
I think.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the only thing they've worked on. They've also been working on several different projects, such as new versions of Super Meat Boy on iPad and whatever. They've been working on Mugenics, which I think is on the back burner right now.
I think the thing maybe I thought it was
that's Team Meat. That's Team Meat doing it. And that's just Edmund working on two things at once.
Yeah. But I think the one detail we missed out was the fact that Binding of Isaac, while it was fantastic in concept and theory and all that stuff, mechanically. It was heavily broken. Like, a lot of the items that you'd expect to synergize very well, for instance.
Let's say a laser that shoots out of your eyes would, then you pick up like an item that makes all your tears sort of like home in on enemies. Mm-hmm. You'd expect that laser would home in on the enemies then.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah. And, certain things were exploitable, certain things didn't work as intended, and you couldn't really fix them because either... was it that Edmund McMillan lost the original code or something like that? He didn't know how to fucking extract it or something ridiculous like that.
Well,
so he couldn't change it.
He tried to compile, when he tried to put more content in with, the expansion that he did, it just wouldn't compile because it's fucking Flash. I don't know I know Tommy was unsatisfied with that explanation once when I told it to him. The game was too big, Flash couldn't do it. I don't know a more technical way of explaining it, but either way, there was no way of actually increasing the amount of content in the game without remaking it outright.
If they were aiming for specific if they set the low end machine that should run it and that didn't check out, then I can understand it. But Flash can definitely be very demanding. Yeah. But they've also done a lot of stuff to leverage heavy work onto the GPU and stuff. So there is some compromise to be found, but I can understand that Flash is hardly the best platform. If your game gets ambitious, then you probably shouldn't be using it.
I mean, it was made on a bedrock of sort of, this is going to be a throwaway project. It's going to be
I guess the scope
thing.
Just kept increasing.
It increases the popularity of the game.
Yeah, you needed to. Yeah, it just got very big.
Incredibly big, because the idea was so just beautiful. I think it really is beautiful to have this roguelike environment where I've seen a lot of roguelikes that change the way mechanics work as you pick up items. I rarely see things that I rarely see roguelike games that change the visuals of everything you do and how your character looks, which then overlay each other. So Isaac in the game is a naked baby with a giant head who fires tears out of his eyes at poop. Naked.
There's a lot of poop in this game.
Naked babies, themed monsters.
It's listed on the features on the PSN as having lots of poop.
On Steam as well.
On Steam, yeah.
Oh, yeah, as in, for example, I'm now currently wearing Mum's undies.
Yeah, so they're very
on your character.
Very Oedipal as well. It's got a weird kind of Oedipal, maybe not actually Oedipal, but sort of a concept of mother issues, sort of how it does take very great care not to sexualize anything, which I find very interesting.
Yeah.
For instance, when you find Mom's bra, you have the effect of it is not whoa, it stuns everything on the screen. Everything sort of doesn't know what to do. It just stares, right? All the enemies stop moving on the screen. When you find one of the items is a tampon. A pad. Like a sanitary pad. And if all the enemies start moving away from you, because it's the effects it would have on a small child, and they're called Mom's everything, by the way. So there's Mom's lipstick and Mom's pants and whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really interesting theme to it. And Anyway, so like you're this naked baby, and as you get these items which increase your abilities, change how your shots, your tears do things, or how fast you move, or like whatever, you start looking different. So, for instance, if you find a belt, which in an abusive household would be something where you would run away from it because you would be given the belt, then you start moving faster. And the thing that I think the effect of that is you wear the belt, right? The visual effect.
Yeah, you wear it.
There's also a wooden spoon item which does the same thing, where you get little spoon marks all over your head, where you've been beaten.
And then you start running faster, yeah.
Yeah, and you start running faster.
There are all the like drug syringe. He just gets syringes stuck in his eye or whatever.
Yeah. It's very the visual effects of every item, they overlap. That's the thing. That's the most interesting thing to me, is that as you get different items, you might get one that I don't know, gives you angel wings, but then if you make a deal with the devil to do something else, then those angel wings will turn into demon wings and you'll have horns. Yeah, it's very, very, very interesting.
Sometimes it doesn't overlap. It sort of cancels each other, because there's so much of it and there's so many.
Yeah.
Well, if it takes up the same spot, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I'm really enjoying Binding of Isaac right now, because when I'm looking for games to play, most of the time I'm going to look for games that understand how to tell a story through the game and not sort of separate them into different sections.
Yeah.
There's a lot of point-and-click games that know how to do that on a very basic level, whether it's Sam & Max, which knows how to use exploration and humour to not only be a challenging game but tell a funny story. But there are also games like Professor Layton, which know how to take brain teasers and other such puzzles, use that as an influence into the main story. While with Binding of Isaac, the entire point of every item is to add to the narrative.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's really interesting.
When I told Ben Spike to play it because he's religious and it talks about religion, I guess he just looked up videos on YouTube or something. He said he played it, but he couldn't have beaten Mom's mom at that time. He told me it just ends with you drawing and then Mom is actually behind you. I found the storytelling very lacking. It's like,
that's not the story.
That's not the story. You fucking play the
Actually, wait. He says he couldn't. You say you couldn't have beaten him that time. My housemate Craig beat it on his second run.
Well, yeah.
It is possible.
I did it too, but I played it for 360 hours, the original.
Yeah.
Someone who just picks it up is like, wow, I made it to depths too.
Because the thing is, you look at how many endings there are, and there's about 16.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is,
you only saw one
boss
ending and never saw that much of the game itself to see the storytelling in that.
It's one of those roguelikes that does replaying very, very well. It's just you die, you click, you start again. It's just
yeah. Plus, when I mention storytelling in video games, I don't mean a straight narrative. I mean using the gameplay as a way to tell the story, using all of the different items and using all the different cosmetic changes to just completely adding until you get this huge diagram of plot points, and it goes far beyond the general ending of the game.
I have a question.
Have you finished the game in the original? Did you know what the last final boss is? Because as you beat the game, more bosses unlock. I don't know if you know.
And it just keeps going further and further. Because in the beginning it's just Mom, but then there's 2 more floors added, and then it's Mom's heart, and then. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it.
So I don't want to spoil too much, but I think it's fair to spoil a little bit of the game. When you beat Mom, the next level is the womb, and then the next boss is Mom's heart, and then after that, well, there's levels beyond that. But the bosses at the very last couple of bosses play very heavily into storytelling, very heavily into the critique. Actually, of that organised Judeo-Christian religion, very much. I actually see it as a commentary on Catholicism. The final boss.
Have I ever got to him?
You saw me beat it. We did a Let's Play. It never got released because Andrea couldn't be fucked to. Some things got broken.
Stuff happened. Okay, no, Tommy, you had a question.
What's the use of passwords?
They are not passwords, actually. They are, 'cause with the game, there's 3 save, with this is Rebirth now, there are 3 save files, and if you quit out of a run halfway through...
Because if I die, I just restart and lose everything.
If you quit out of a run halfway through the game, you can just press continue on new game, it'll save your run. The passwords aren't actually passwords, they are seeds. Because it's procedurally generated, obviously.
Oh.
If I'm having a really interesting run where I'm finding it really challenging, and I'm like, hey Vid, see how you do on this run. Then I can send my seed over to him. He can put it in.
It works for racing as well. Because like me and Matt can just put in the same seed in, and then we can just be on Skype and then like, okay, go.
All the people just complain about Dota when you're on Skype.
So basically,
you do that in Control.
Like complete game over.
Sorry?
If you die, it's a complete game over. You have to.
Yeah.
It's a roguelike.
Get whatever constitutes as a victory on one go.
Well, I don't really see it as a game over because
the victory changes as you win. But yeah, every time you die, it's game over.
Yeah, but if you say for instance, like many roguelikes actually, think Rogue Legacy, think anything like that. So at the start of the game, you have one character called Isaac, right? And when you beat the first boss, you unlock a new item that can appear in the basement. In the basement. In the game, the item can appear anywhere, wherever you get an item in the game. And, as you go along, as you kill more things, you kill different bosses, different variations on bosses, as you, kind of achieve different, feats, you, gain more items that appear, you unlock more things. Additionally, if you, for instance, gain more than 55 coins on any run, any single run, you will unlock a new character. And those things don't go away when you die. So, those things are...
So the fact that okay, I've beat some boss, I went to level below, and then I died. But I got an item after I beat the boss.
You unlocked it, yeah. So when you start the game, you'll be back to 0 items. But
you can find the new items that you unlocked.
Yeah. The next time you run through, you might find an item you haven't seen before.
Pretty much every roguelike.
Yeah, but that's like the first one I've ever played.
Oh, really?
Spelunky, FTL.
I know how to phrase it in a way that he'll understand. You know Infinity Blade on the iPad?
Yes, I do.
You know how every time you upgrade your character...
There we go, yeah.
Yeah, the entire point of that game is there, where every time you die, your grandson will inherit your title and the grandson will go on. But they keep all of the upgrades from the previous family member.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like that.
It's not like that, but it's still the same idea, but with items. It's a similar idea.
Well, I mean, there's item pools. It's like the more you play, it's like when you open an item room, right?
No,
there might be. Okay, yeah.
I just figured it would ease him into it by mentioning iOS.
But yeah, those the intro. But I mean, Rebirth is something else compared to Vanilla Isaac.
I dare say it's hella good.
Yes, it's a different art style.
Yeah, because they kind of had to change it, because one, he didn't initially like the one he had for Isaac anyway. And two, he just, like, you can't just re-release the game and make it look the same. It has to have, like, a sort of, like, some kind of aesthetic change.
Yeah, but the biggest stuff for me is of course the synergies are great. So that laser eye, the eye lasers that you get that shoot out lasers instead of tears, being able to home in on things and cause this incredible like looping laser effect, if you get a homing shot effect is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, you can like pick up an item that makes you barf. And Monstro's Lung, by the way. And that combined with the laser.
And those items, those items that fucking
there's items
give you the ability to leave leave creep behind you.
Yeah, like
which damages stuff that chases you. There's so many things in the game that chase you.
I found an item there when I drop bombs, I drop poop instead that explode and the poison everything in the room.
That's really cool.
I picked up a trinket where if I pick up if I pick up a coin, it makes a fart.
I
poisons enemies. It's useless, but it's called butt penny.
I picked up something called the Ludovico technique, which is a reference, I think, to Clockwork Orange. Yeah, and basically, instead of shooting tears out of your eyes, now you have one single tear, which you move around with the arrow keys. So in the game, you normally move your character around with WASD, and you shoot left, up, down, or right with the arrow keys. But in this, you're controlling two separate entities at once. You're controlling your character with the WASD keys, and this single
is good fun to use.
Single
I do
high
like that.
damage tier. Yeah, and what I did was I combined that with a laser effect, which turned it into this kind of like laser display thing where, like in a when you're at a disco, when you're at the discotheque.
Yeah, we do, of course.
Sorry, go on.
So it becomes the binding of
Yeah, it does.
Discos where they had raves, that exists.
When you're at the discotheque, you can have those the laser light shows, which make a little circle on the wall by just spinning a laser around. Well, it does that. So you've got, instead of having a single tier, you've got a circle, which only the circle does the damage. And it's very, very interesting. The synergies are fantastic.
Yeah,
I can't get over it.
We're explaining most of these synergies with the laser. Sort of like what that combines with. But there's other... Yeah, there are fucking... Like, there's one where you can spew bombs. I haven't seen that one yet.
You can just vomit blood everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens.
There's one way you can just, like, instead of tears, you pee on people, which basically, because it's coming from a lower orifice, or lower, I guess... Hole. It's got a lot less range because it's not coming from quite as high up on the body, but it's there's more quantity of attack.
Wow, they really thought of everything.
Tommy, let me tell you about the enemies. We have, I think, 4 degrees of poop, right? We have happy little poop monsters.
Yeah, I've noticed there's some crap jumping around.
We have medium little poop, I think, ladies that are quite happy.
They'll charge towards you.
And we have the big poop monster that he seems a bit grumpy. He will
shoot bits of poop at you and also spawn little poop people.
And then we have the poop boss. It sort of does the same thing, but also have rage issues and.
He does. It's very funny. He'll like whistle and little.
It looks like a she, by the way.
It's called Dingle. The poop boss.
Dingleberry.
Yeah, and
that's what it is.
Yeah, and they'll whistle, and the little poop monsters will come, and then it'll charge at you, just out of nowhere. Really takes you by surprise.
The poop monsters the little ones look so happy.
Yeah.
Like, I was born.
I'm so fucking psyched.
Well, I mean, I hate that fight so much because it's
a fucking
really
annoying
difficult.
boss.
It's a really difficult fight for the first level.
Really?
But,
I've not been having much trouble with the poop monster.
Maybe it's just because I know all the other bosses. And I don't know that one quite so well.
That is true.
I'm quite used to it.
The new ones are fucking me.
But yeah, the great thing is when it charges, it bounces everywhere. So it kind of like whenever it hits a wall, whenever it hits like another poop that's on the ground or a rock or whatever, it'll bounce off it and all sorts of stuff. Which is great. Carry on with your talk about the enemies, Matty.
I enjoy the fact that I keep getting the Necronomicon coming up, so that's good.
I like that.
That is a legit item.
I'm trying to figure out what Dry Baby does. I think what it does is it's a little familiar that follows you around. And basically it doesn't fire. Normally when you get a familiar, which is like a little creature that looks like a tiny fetus.
Yeah, a little fetus that
floats around following you around and shoots when you shoot, right? Well, this one doesn't shoot at all. There's many of these in the game.
I've got 3 of them following me right now.
It doesn't... this one doesn't shoot. And I didn't know what it did I think I've figured it out. I think it follows you around, and whenever it gets hit by a bullet or an enemy or whatever, it has a chance to cause the Necronomicon effect, which basically damages everything in the. For those who don't know, damages everything in the room you're on. It's a really, really good idea.
How many items are there? Like 1 million?
I think it's like 500?
Yeah, like the combinations are just fucking crazy.
I think there was 150. What is like 200 items in the original one?
Tarot cards, pills.
Yeah. There's actually very very interesting kind of paganistic rebellion strands in the item, the story that the items tell, because obviously you've got this sort of Judeo-Christian thing, and then you're picking up tarot cards which are like power ups, or your
sort of special effects card.
Yeah, some of the passive items you get are what are they called, like horoscope symbols. What are they called? I don't fucking know.
Zodiac.
Zodiac signs. So like I don't know. I'm trying to think. Virgo basically gives you a little bow on your head, and whenever you take damage, you have a chance of getting a shield.
And the Taurus just makes you a big bull man.
It does. Taurus.
I did enjoy Sagittarius, which just turns me into a giant goat thing.
That's also I think you turn it a lion as well.
Cancer's so much fun because it turns you. It gives you little tiny feet. You know, you normally are walking around with your 2 little baby feet. It gives you little crab feet and then little floppy crab hands.
I understand it's completely out of context, but the words "cancer's so much fun."
Because when you pick up the cancer trinket, because there is a trinket called cancer, you can pick it up and it says cancer, yay. The description is yay.
Cancers this month, as Saturn is in the ascendants, obviously are going to have a lot of fun, because they're going to transform into weird crab beasts.
Well, I'm sure they are.
Mm-hmm.
Young man.
I am Mystic Meg right here. They call me Mystic Matt because I can tell your horoscope.
Shut up, Meg.
You can look in the newspaper and tell me roughly what's going to happen.
They call you Silly Sally, to be honest with you.
So, where were we?
Enemies, items, great game. Get it, you jerks.
Yeah.
I know it's full price right now, but seriously, if you buy it on a sale, you're never going to play it.
It's not that expensive.
Everyone, it's free on PS Plus.
That's why I'm playing it.
On PlayStation, it is free.
Yeah, but you have to have a... just get it.
It's the one time when I'm playing the same game as Vid and Matty, and they still Matty still finds a way to moan about it.
I do. No, I'm moaning about
That's his Polish genes, though.
Oh, I hate it so much.
Is it available for PS3?
No. Sadly, it's only PS4 and Vita.
Really
but if you've got the superior console, that is the Vita, then you can...
Whoa.
Or if you have the Master Race.
I'm playing it... Because adverts in movie theaters take so long, I was having a go at binding just while all the trailers were going on, and it is good fun to have this game out as a portable game.
It's a good... I mean, I would personally not like... I would prefer the keys and arrows and everything.
You can play it on Vita without using the sticks.
Ooh. You can?
You can play it with the face buttons and the D-pad.
Okay, I'm a little bit more...
If you want to play it like a PSP game...
You know what? That's how I would play it.
Yeah, because that's how it's made. And that was one of Tommy's complaints, actually, as a newcomer to the series, that you can't shoot in 8 directions.
I mean, not complaint. You can press 2 arrows at once. You know that keyboards can do that.
No.
I actually kind of have the same complaint, not because I can't do it and I can do it in other games. The complaint I have is that enemies can do it and I can't.
I mean, I think what part of that is sort of I don't know. I like the finesse of having to angle your change your speed of how you're walking.
I get that.
To angle your bullets.
It does bug me that enemies can do it and I can't.
Well, it's not so much that the enemies
only shoot in the floor. That makes no sense.
Okay, so the enemies are all made in such a way that you can only shoot Like they're made as like if you put yourself in front of them, which you have to kill them, you're putting yourself in the line of fire, and it's a whole.
Maybe it's supposed.
It's a whole sort of like risk reward thing that goes on.
It would maybe be too easy otherwise.
And a lot of the rooms are structured in such a way that there's rocks in a grid pattern, so that you're blocked from enemies unless you're in their lane. And also like a lot of.
I completely understand the reason for it, and essentially the reason is it's because Legend of Zelda did it. I just think they could have changed that in Rebirth from the original. And
I found the best thing. I found the best item. It's called Steam Sale.
Yeah.
And all the items you buy, items you can buy, are now 50% off.
Nice.
There's also a trinket called the Humbling Bundle.
Nice.
I forget what it does.
I don't know. I know that you can get a 75% off Steam Sale now.
Speaking of Humble Bundles, sorry to say it now, Metro 2033 is free at the moment. You guys should go get it.
Wait,
it won't be free by the time this episode goes.
I know,
out,
I'm not telling the people on the episode. I'm telling you.
There's more people in this call that are listening.
Wait, what am I doing? I have that game already.
Well, get it anyway and give it to someone.
Okay, they could just get it themselves.
Yeah, but you could give it to them and go,
I'm sorry, where is it?
Upon you. It's on the Humble Store.
Oh, okay.
You will have this fucking game. Take it.
They give away games?
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
yeah, a while ago, actually, there was that's the second time I can think of this is given away for free.
Yep.
I think the Humble...
You just liked a thing on Facebook and got a Steam code.
I forgot about that. Humble have also been giving away Teleglitch recently.
Yeah, Teleglitch is also another roguelike. It's fairly legit.
Oh.
It's not as legit, so it can't quit, but it's quite fun.
Yeah. So you like Isaac then? Is that the
You know what?
That seems to be the general gist of this episode.
Okay, right. It's not Dota, but I still like it.
Because it is partially an esport.
It is a very competitive esport.
They had like really cool races on Twitch, like lots of viewers. People just sort of competed with the same seed. Not in Rebirth, obviously, because that scene hasn't developed yet. Probably no one knows what half the items do. But
it's gonna come, son. It's gonna come.
Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say was that they have, I guess, kind of put the game files in such a way that there's no tool to extract them yet. And in the notes, there's a README in the game files which essentially says, listen, if you're going to create a tool to extract these, if that's the kind of thing you like doing, then please don't tell anyone what the stuff does until a few months down the line when everyone's had the chance, because half of the game is discovery. There's a reason, sure, we've done a vague overview of what some stuff does to show you some examples, but there's a reason we're not going into what the last bosses are, what kind of every item does, because A, it would take all day, and B, it's a huge part of that game is seeing an item you don't know what it does, and when you pick it up, sometimes you still don't know what it does. Because it doesn't always tell you. Sometimes it just gives you a clue. Like I picked up an item that I still don't know what it does. It's called Breath of Life. It's called it's invulnerability at a cost. And basically, you could hold down spacebar to activate it, and it acted like you were holding your breath. So you would turn increasingly blue the longer you held your breath, and if it got to the bottom, you'd start taking damage. I don't know what it did. I don't know what that was supposed to benefit me, because I still took damage when I was holding my breath. I don't know. So I'm sure there is a legit use for that. I don't think it's a useless item, but I don't know what it is yet. And that's the great thing about it, is it just says, sure, here's a thing, but it's also a bad thing. You should be scared. And then it doesn't tell you anything else. And a huge part of the game is figuring all that out.
I'd just like to point out that despite Vid's attempt at slander, I'm going to play this game.
Whoa.
I did actually. I actually did, while you were talking. So,
Tommy, we believe in you. We want you to play it.
Yeah, one of us, etc.
Google gobble, one of us.
But I've also been playing something else, if we can talk about it.
Do it.
Of course.
Okay, so it's a game on iOS, of course.
Of course it is.
Now, get this. It's a free-to-play farm 'em up from the creators of Clash of Clans.
Okay.
You are not selling me on this yet.
No, I am not rigid yet.
Timers
you're giving us
and
a hard sell at this
purchases
point.
and stuff.
Does it give you in-game currency if you like them on Facebook?
How many of my friends will I have to bother to play it?
Actually, the thing about it is it's not very invasive. It's actually not invasive at all.
Oh, is it like a game?
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's still like timers. There's still waiting time for everything.
I'm okay
but
with
it's
that.
like, but it's not like okay, you have to use the premium currency all the time.
Yeah.
You're not getting pestered for it. Like the basic production of items costs nothing. There's like no ads.
So it's not Dungeon Keeper. Why should I play it?
It's basically the kind of game that ideally those free-to-play timer games should be, which is just, okay, so just pop it in for like 2 minutes in between some stuff, get some of your items from the to-do list, I guess, cleared out, start new timers, and then move on to something else.
I actually like it. I like games like that.
It doesn't require your 24/7 attention or something. Like, it's not like, okay, the animals need feeding, but I haven't seen anything bad happen to them if I just don't do that. They're just not producing anything, and that's it.
This begs a question. I mean, are these games like the wait 'em up genre?
I like them.
Are they essentially an extended, more fun version of a Tamagotchi?
Well, that's a good point.
I mean, they take about as much time out of our lives. We don't think about them until we do think about them. You know, it becomes part of our schedule.
From what I recall, the Tamagotchi actually operated on some real-time timer. Like, there was consequence for, you know, if you forgot to long. Whereas in this, I don't see it. To be honest, I have no idea why I downloaded it in the first place.
You were probably bored.
Which game is this? You've not actually said.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's called Heyday. Hay as in dried.
I saw a fucking advert for that with the guy from
I saw that
Time
guy
Machine.
advert as well.
That advert's fucking terrible. I don't want to play it now.
Yeah, it's from the creators of Clash of Clans, and I would expect to see like the other games getting advertised, but there's none of that. Like, I'm very surprised because this is the because the thing about the mobile market is that for all the uproar that people like us are causing, it's still like we're in the minority when it comes to that market. Like, it's the majority of people who play it are doing basically those kinds of games. It's
there are trains in the game.
A few minutes per, like, I don't know, per hour or 2 hours distraction just in between stuff. And not like a 2 or 3 hour session with a game. Like, you basically will take care of not much if you sit here with this particular game for 2 hours. Huh. And the biggest surprise is, as I said, it's not being aggressive in all the things that people always point out that are evil about free-to-play at all. I mean, the only thing that really sucks is that, okay, of course there's the regular currency and there's the premium currency.
Yeah.
And you cannot exchange one for the other.
Okay, well,
most games don't let you do that, just because otherwise you'd be able to, basically cheat the system.
In many ways, that's to be expected, isn't it?
Yeah. Even like Tribes Ascend, one of the best free-to-play games ever made, doesn't let you transfer between the two.
Yeah.
I've been playing something sort of similar as well on iOS. I've been playing Bitcoin Billionaire.
Whoa.
It's in the same model and vein as Cookie Clicker Heroes, that sort of thing. But it's dedicated to Bitcoin.
How does that work?
Yeah, but there's no data. There's no actual Bitcoin mining.
It makes a point. It makes a point at the very start of the game to saying the Bitcoins that you create are not real. The euphoric feeling of wealth that you do amass is.
Yeah, I do believe that Matt was about to ask something about.
Yeah, I wanted to just segue really into an overarching concept I'd like to talk about with you guys. Social gaming, obviously, is a big time, as we've just been discussing, but what are your guys' experiences of the best social aspects of games? What I'm trying to say is, if you get into a game, you really get into this game, and none of your friends are playing it, but it's a social game, what games do you think have approached that in the best way? Myself, personally, I come from a place where my best experiences have been with Fallen London, which is a browser-based game.
I've seen
heavily based on its writing. It's made by writers, really, more than game developers. But, of course, games are a series of difficult decisions. So it's sort of like a choose-your-own adventure, but with more stats and more
that game is also it's the same world as Sunless Sea is in.
Yes, it is exactly the same world as Sunless Sea, and I've talked about Sunless Sea before. Again, I have a history of playing games that are difficult to describe. Fallen London and Sunless Sea are both games just like that.
Well, actually,
suffice it. Sorry.
Just to quickly answer to tie the game I'm playing to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It has social aspects, but again, it's not like in your face. It's not like tell everyone on Facebook about it.
Okay.
If there are those parts, then they haven't been standing out.
Sometimes
too
they
much.
creep up.
But there's a sort of a social aspect, and that's just okay. You can trade goods with other players, and it's very indirect.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you can
that's also why
look at their farms, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's also why I like Bitcoin Billionaire, where all of that sort of stuff is always a choice.
Yeah.
You always get a benefit from it, and it always asks you first.
Personally, what I was kind of trying to say is that with Fallen London, it used to have a kind of policy where you could basically, and this was a really good idea in my opinion, was you could gain extra actions, like extra energy or whatever, by echoing stuff to your social media stuff. So if you really liked a piece of writing that was in the game. For instance, you made a choice and they gave this incredible description of what happened, and a lot of it, you had that feeling a lot of just like, oh my goodness, that single paragraph of writing is fucking incredible. That happens a lot to me. Like I read it and I'm like, whoa, dude, like that, whoa. How can you condense so much awesome into one little bite? But yeah, then it makes me want to echo it to Twitter, it makes me want to echo it to Tumblr and whatever, and it would give you extra actions. They cancelled that eventually because they were so scared of becoming one of those people that everyone would spam. So, and what they do now is so subtle. If you copy a piece of text from the game and paste it into a blog, all it does is add a little annotation, see the rest at fallenlondon.com. That's it. That's it. I found it succinct, I found it unobtrusive, and I found it really, really sort of... Obviously not all games can do this, because not all games are going to make you want to go to your social media and go, hey, look at this thing.
That reminds me.
Go on.
In the light of the gathering storm, Logfella admitted he had a serious case of the heebie-jeebies right about now. #sorcery.
Okay.
Do you remember that when Sword and Sorcery had every single text in the game was tweetable?
Oh dear.
No, I did not.
That
was
really
weird.
Cool. I played it on PC. I don't think I had that option. Did I?
You probably had, because they had their own Twitter authorization, so it should have worked everywhere.
Neato.
Personally,
yeah.
I've never ever come across a game that does social stuff well, ever. With the possible exception of Pokemon, and that's only because Pokemon requires...
Actually, there was a game, I think on iOS as well, that shit, I wish I could remember the title. What it did is, I think it's used your Twitter feed, and it was like an endless runner of sorts, but you are like, avoiding words from your Twitter feed, something like that. Like, there were actually words from your Twitter feed that were used as obstacles.
Oh, that's really cool. I like that. I mean, I've seen those interesting things where the little tools that you just, authorize and it goes through your Twitter feed and it goes like, here are your most used words, or we're going to make a tweet that was a really good one that makes a tweet out of your most used words on Twitter. It wasn't that functional. I think most of the time it just came up with the same stuff. Like everyone's tweets ended up sounding the same. But yeah, I don't know.
Clever stuff. Fun.
You know what? Take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break, and we'll be back. When we come back, I want to talk about BlizzCon. Anyone else have a topic that they're waiting in the wings to talk about?
I just want to talk about random bollocks.
I just picked up an item called Broken Watch, and the description is, I think it's broken.
Yeah, I don't know what that does. I've had that before.
I got shoveled out in the 3DS, and
Break. 3DS. Boo. Boo. I'm Adam.
So yeah, I want to talk about. I'm going to apologize when I come back. I'm going to apologize to the listeners for talking so much whenever I'm on.
No. That's right.
If you're not talking, that means we're talking, and no one wants that.
I don't know. I should probably
The point every single time you're on is to get the most out of it.
You're a strange man.
I don't know. I feel weird. I do kind of want to do an audio log, sort of. I mean, I love doing this podcast because I get to talk to all you guys. But I also want to do something smaller, something less. Because we're such a big outfit, we end up with such a it's unwieldy, like a giant development house. It's like fucking Activision. You can't turn it around in a couple of seconds. It's got a huge turning circle.
So Matty is
on a related note, I think we should cancel Guitar Hero.
He has all the money.
We should, but but the thing is, we've got to then tell marketing, and then we've got to fire people and hire people, and oh my god.
Jay, you're fired.
Jay, if you're not listening to this, this is cut out.
Like if two of us have the feelings to have a talk about something, anything, we get on Skype, we record a discussion that lasts about 20 minutes, and we combine it with others. Like
I actually think that we should. I brought this up a while back, but I think that PodTea'd Squidgets would be a really good idea. Squidgets. I'm going on the little kind of Jim Sterling squirty play type. Thing, sort of like Squidgets, like tiny little. I don't know. I feel free to come up with a better fucking name than that. It's just like that was the first thing that came to mind.
The only other thing that comes to my mind is bits, but that's
PodTea'd bits. PodTea'd tiny squirts. PodTea'd tea breaks.
Yeah.
PodTea'd tea parties.
Tea with PodTea'd.
Although PodTea'd is kind of like a big tea party.
I mean,
pass the crumpets.
Oh, fucking hell.
They're not conservative enough.
These crumpets.
Actually,
plebeians.
Matt, what you should do is basically just impersonate Agent Cooper from Twin Peaks. Just start every recording with Diane, and then just go on.
Yeah. I kind of think it'd be cool if you guys. I mean, it'd be tough to do, but like, I can't take on more work right now. Like, I can't take on more editing work. I'm barely keeping up with this because this is quite a hefty job.
Yeah, I can't put them all up on YouTube either.
Yeah,
they take not that long, but obviously not as long as your part, but they still take a reasonable amount of time.
Oh really?
I can't fucking do that. No,
I was thinking,
I can't do it.
I was thinking maybe like if for instance, say Adam and Viz wanted to talk about a game.
Best trends.
What would happen is that...
So the frequency will fit with your schedule very beautifully.
Yeah.
Because you have enough room for 0, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely have enough to edit all those podcasts. But yeah, I mean, if like, it'd be cool because like you'd be able to just, I don't fucking know. You don't have to do a break. You don't have to do any kind of start and end stuff. Maybe I'd give you like a sound effect to do this for the start. I'd create something to create an intro for it.
It's short enough, I could edit it.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. You know, like you guys yourselves, I'm sure could.
I have Le Garage Bound.
Yeah, just fucking jump in, like get Audacity, Audition, anything.
No, I have GarageBand.
Or GarageBand if you're a Mac user.
I'm not using Audition. Audacity, sorry.
Yeah, I heard you complaining about Audacity.
Audacity is really difficult to use.
It's terrible.
It is awful. Yeah.
It's all I know, and what I know is okay.
And that's fine, and it's open source and all that stuff. I had to torrent Audition, and I have to torrent an Audition, a version of Audition from like 2005 because obviously they've gone to Adobe Air now, which is all like always online and shit. Like I know like professional, like industry professionals who still use Audition.
Torrent Cool Edit 2000 because that's what Audition was before it was Audition.
Oh, really?
Adobe bought this software.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like.
And that's all the stuff that's.
Yeah, I found Dark Bum.
Oh, one run. It's a one run.
Oh, by the way, if anyone will play for some reason, Heyday, my farm is called Bum Nasty.
Bum Nasty. Sweet. I'm gonna go to the loo. Back in a second.
I might change.
Guys. Heyday the Peist.
Boo!
You love it.
Boo!
I might actually change what game I'm playing now from Rebirth to either Shovel Knight on 3DS or Outrun 2.
I am playing pen and paper.
Whoa. So you have some pen and some...
I mean, I support indie games.
That's related to Pen and Teller?
Sorry, what, Tommy?
Nothing. Never mind. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Knights of Pen and Paper, bro. +1.
What?
I am D&Ding the fuck out of this game.
Okay.
I mean, jocks like you just don't understand what we go through.
Yeah.
You and your sports and
No, actually,
girls.
speaking of jocks, there's one thing, because as you know, it's not impossible that Russia will invade Poland.
It's very possible, but you're far away, so it's okay.
And the thing is, hopefully, all the people that were very keen on, well, basically our equivalents of chavs, will hopefully be looking forward to this.
Let's just use them as cannon fodder, okay?
Yeah, because then there will be a pretty decent chance of fending them off.
I mean, who would win, a Polish chav or a Russian chav?
Most likely
they would have a squad off.
They just
squad on opposite sides of like a parking lot.
It's like they're all describing just how why they can't work.
They would just have to lift their cars, and the Polish ones would win because Russians have better cars.
Speaking of Polish people lifting cars, you know Pasha, right?
Yeah.
Pasha.
Yeah, there was this fucking amazing story that one of the American players told about Pasha when they were in China. They got drunk, and a couple of CSGO teams got drunk, and they were sort of looking for cabs, and they found like one cab who refused to they were too big, there were too many people to just fit into one, and that one was refusing to call others. So Pasha, right, who's like this, you've seen him.
He's
the bodybuilder man.
Yeah.
He's like two
Massive
Bad
biceps.
Nicholsons duct
Yeah.
taped together.
He gets in front of the cab and fucking lifts it so that he can't run away. And the driver like lifts the front wheels off the ground. The other people were fucking laughing next to him. I don't know. It was a fun
He
story.
was probably also saying kurva a lot. I would.
No, Pasha is too nice. Pasha.
Yeah, Pasha is too nice.
But,
But I saw him once.
He still reached the fucking cab, so.
yeah.
Well, he was drunk. Come on, guy.
I saw like a compilation of his best streaming moments, and one of them was where he refused to swear because, quote, there's 15-year-old in watching. I cannot say. I have to be Big Daddy Pasha. Big sexy Daddy Pasha.
Pasha.
Pasha, show you how to kill Twitter.
I always like to say that Pasha and Dandy are the two biggest names in esports.
When Pasha is really kinda, but not really.
He's not the well known, but I in my heart, he is the biggest Counter-Strikeist.
Of course, he can op like a son of a bitch.
I mean, when he ops, hey, Sam, can you even op?
Can you scope in?
Can I what?
Can you scope in, not move, and then put your crosshair over the enemy?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, then you can op.
He's like a bizarro fatality, really.
Fatality?
With a 1, of course.
Guys, have you seen the Overwatch thing? You should, cause
I'm sorry, I'm busy with Shovel Knight time.
Have I
I'm
watched?
super excited about it.
Have I
Like, it
seen
looks amazing. The thing I just linked in the chat, Blizzard's new IP, first new IP in 7 years.
Whoa.
Well, they finally did a new thing. That is
It's a
more
shooter.
than
It's a
Nintendo.
first-person shooter. That looks like really interesting.
It'll have MMO elements. It will feature Peter Dinklage as your robot companion, and it will bore everyone to tears. That sounds fantastic.
It will be kind of cool in the beginning, and then everyone says, oh, "Is this all?"
Oh, okay, so
but
this is a cool intro to a game. Where's the rest of it? Oh, this is the whole game. What?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it actually gets worse when I finish it. Oh dear.
But if you have a look at like the gameplay trailer, it looks like there's a lot of stuff that people are doing which isn't.
Why are we not being linked to a gameplay trailer? Or is it? Oh yeah.
The bottom one is the gameplay trailer. One above is the cinematic trailer.
Sorry, I have the new Skype on Mac and it's.
Shit.
Well, fuck Skype.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, fuck Skype.
I thought you all agreed on this.
Yeah, man. Let's go back to Mumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a great time for me.
Uh-huh.
That was when I would
still sorry
literally
for that,
spend an
man.
entire working day. I think seriously 9 to 5. I would spend editing a podcast.
Jesus Christ.
Why didn't you stop us?
Yeah. We did
because
several
like
episodes.
I don't fucking know. It was that was only when it really started
so that's
fucking up.
a video game. That's all I can tell from this.
Have you seen the gameplay trailer?
Yeah. It's a video game with some interesting art.
I like it's kind of like Time Splitters, but if every single one of the characters had their own unique abilities.
I haven't.
It looks like they've really thought about. Like this is the thing. Like it looks like it's sort of MOBA-y style kind of in that like you can be doing things other than just trying to kill people. You can be like traps and fucking. Like you can be like. Cool. It's like fucking Team Fortress type style stuff. Like you know.
You know what? Actually, that's a very good point that you're bringing up. If there's anyone that could potentially rival Team Fortress, it would be Blizzard.
Well, yeah. Who else?
That was a weird reaction. It did seem like someone was flating you just at that moment.
Well, Vid is not talking right now.
Are we actually? I can't remember. Are we recording? Because this is all video game talk.
Yeah, I just wanted you. When I start talking about BlizzCon, I wanted you to have this, at least someone to have the context of having seen this gameplay trailer.
You know what? Let's just say that we've been recording. Fuck it. Hello, everyone. We're back again.
Sam, wait, hang on. Sam, did you stop recording and you just carry on. Where's Sam?
Sam's not here, so he hasn't.
Okay, we'll wait.
Can't even pretend.
I don't like Sam. He smells funny.
Oh shit! I don't know. Like, I love the art style for this fucking thing. I love the cinematic trailers. Cool as hell. It's like superhero themed.
We are still talking about Sam, right?
Yeah.
He has great cinematics.
Style.
Blizzard do incredible cinematics forever. They will never not.
Yes, we all know that.
Any polygons on his
You can
face?
you can play as a giant gorilla in a jetpack with glasses on.
I mean,
There's jetpacks involved.
Jetpacks, well, and like people who can just straight up fly.
okay,
Yeah.
Matt, how does this compare to the MOBA that Gearbox is doing?
I don't know what MOBA is Gearbox doing.
I don't know. It looks horrible.
The Colonial Marines, the MOBA.
No, it's just some very poor.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah, I've only ever seen
EA
the cinematic.
can't break into this genre.
Yeah,
Maybe we can.
EA just cancelled the Dawngate, the one that they were doing.
Oh no, wait, never mind.
I probably blame Tommy for that. I imagine that he is the cause of every cancelled game.
Yeah, I have a. Have you seen the movie Being John Malkovich?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how that guy finds a portal to John Malkovich's head?
Yeah.
So I basically found a magical button that cancels games.
You bastard.
One day, Blizzard were like, you know what? I really like how StarCraft Ghost is coming along. and suddenly, they get a sudden twinge, and they think, we need to stop this.
He says, I am Tommy. He will start this game.
Why is Tommy French?
I don't know.
Baguette.
Do you like
As
some
he pours
croissant?
Pepsi all over the backups.
I do step the terrible games.
Look at me, I have a mustache. French Tommy is the best Tommy.
Shit out of this game.
It is just Tommy with a beret, a striped shirt, a baguette, a bike, like
a necklace of onions.
The Gerard Depardieu collection on DVD.
He has some Asterix comics with him.
Hey, I actually like that.
And his theme song is Fou de Fafa by Flight of the Conchords. That's the best song ever for people who don't know how to speak French.
And he hates the English. French Tommy hates the English so much.
Oh yeah. Can't even be on a podcast with him.
Oh, fucking tea drinkers. I hate them so much.
That's what.
That's the wrong word. You should have said merda.
That's what Overwatch art style reminds me of. Toy Story.
I don't.
IGN described it as Pixar. So, yeah.
Yeah, the
fine.
cinematic trailer definitely.
Oh yeah, Ratchet & Clank the movie gets a new poster.
Toy Story has I've always thought that looked really fugly.
Oh, Matty, I have a question for you.
No!
Yes.
Oh, okay then.
Do you have a word that is pronounced somewhere in the vicinity of shops?
Could you type that out?
Oh my goodness.
Shuffs? Shuffs. Yeah, it's
It's bullshit, right?
Jävla shuffs. Yeah, it's like what the fuck are you talking about, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah. How yeah.
Yeah, because it's also in Norwegian.
There is a lot of there's one Swedish word that is just a sound and it means about 70 different things.
Really?
It's
What? Can you write this in the chat?
Oh yeah, I believe everyone in PodTea'd needs to watch Too Many Cooks.
It's just a sound. It goes. It means hello. How are you? Or are you well? Yes.
Are you being serious right now?
No. Shup.
Is this how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It does an intake of air.
Okay, because in here, this means me. Like it's yai. It's ah.
Ah.
Yeah. And it's, it's this.
Yeah, it's like the shoop sound that comes.
Yeah, but this is a southern dialect.
Yeah.
And actually, this also works in Danish.
Ours from it's the very north. They have a reputation of not speaking a lot up there, so they just use that simple sound for most things.
I've noticed. I understand a lot of the stuff that Andre is writing in Swedish. It's weird.
Tommy, you are learning fast. You are a good boy.
Yeah, I am, Max.
Kiss.
Right, Sam is back.
Sam.
Make sure everyone gets Little Big Adventure on Good Old Games for free.
Everyone here?
Yeah, I thought about it. I should do that.
Oh, shit.
Okay,
No,
should I break the recording?
Mom's heart. Oh, I just, you know when I said I'm about to fight Mom's heart?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done fighting Mom's heart, guys.
She did?
Look, seriously, I started at the time when I said that.
That
I have brimstone.
That was many minutes ago.
Okay, so are we ready? Are we ready to start?
Matt, should I break the recording?
Wait, until everyone's told me they're all ready.
Ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yes, now break the recording.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Ipecac appeared in the basement.
There we go.
Ipecac, that makes you vomit.
It makes you vomit. It makes you shoot green bombs, but like
Nice.
vomit bombs upwards in an arc.
Okay, bitch, shut up. Sam, we go?
Yeah, it's just going.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone, to PodTea'd.
Hello.
We've done our break. We went for a little wee-wee.
I did a big one.
Washed our hands, obviously, first. Resupplied the biscuits.
My wee-wee was big, it was brown, and it was stinky. I'm suspicious of it.
I would be.
Oh, little Adam, you and your tiny little face.
Mm-hmm.
That was Sam's shtick.
No. Sam, he has a very large penis, but a very small face.
I mean, I'm going to take the compliment of the second part, but...
I mean, he does sort of glue fur to it.
To make it, appear bigger.
No, he just glues fur to it and says, I am a fox, I'm going to bum you now.
I almost thought you said he Lou Ferrigno to it. And I didn't know what that meant.
That's what I heard as well. So.
Yeah, I don't know what that would entail. That seems...
Well, it would obviously entail Lou Ferrigno.
They in certain circles, they call Sam Glue Ferrigno.
Okay, Sam, are you telling me that you want to bum Lou Ferrigno?
Not particularly, no.
Who do you want to bum?
I don't know.
No, I need to know, Sam.
On IGN, there's a poster for Ratchet and Clank the movie.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
You want to bum that?
Yeah, Sam, would you bum one of those?
What? Not the ones from the movie.
Ratchet or Clank?
Not Clank, because I bet that would hurt.
Which one would you do, the banjo or the kazooie one?
Neither, because I don't particularly
Japanese,
like Banjo-Kazooie.
the Japanese version of Ratchet with giant eyebrows.
Oh, fuck no.
Jack or Daxter?
Well, Jack just looks like a guy, so I have nothing agat.
He's a guy with giant ears.
Sexist.
I can deal with the giant ears. I've had
He also has that weird mullet, slick back mullet thing.
Yeah, I don't care about that so much. I mean, I've had
You would care if
Kane
you had
or
to
Lynch,
touch it.
dead men.
I've had neither of them. I've had Link from the Wii U Zelda as my wallpaper for months now.
Well, you bummed Link?
Rosie or Jim?
I've had Twinkling as my wallpaper.
Do you want to experience binding or rebirth? Basically, you can either be bound sexually or be born again.
See, I don't want the second part.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the first, but if there's an option, I'm not going to take.
Sam, do you enjoy bondage?
Well, it depends. No.
Command or Conquer?
Command or Conquer?
Okay,
Conquer.
Would you go with the Soviets or the Allied?
Well, because Allied won, so I'd go with them.
They don't. They have the worst bombing though.
But they won.
I'm
not going to go with the people that I know historically lost. That'd be like having a time machine and going back and enlisting in the German army in 1939.
But you could change. You could turn it around.
No, one soldier cannot turn an army around.
Yeah, Sam.
Literally impossible.
Sam, you could do it.
I'm sorry, I wasn't really listening.
think-
Who's Sam having sex with again?
No,
I
Sam,
think it was Conquer.
I think the problem is that nobody had the chops to do it, but maybe you have what it takes.
Sorry, no one in the German
Maybe that's
army
your
during
hidden
World War
talent.
II had the chops to do it. They
No, not like
murdered
you.
6 million people.
Sam,
Pretty sure they had some quite large chops.
Sam,
I'm
you
pretty
could
sure,
murder
right?
100
If a
million.
pig had to give away those chops, it would be a pig the size of a room.
Listen, we've got what we need out of this conversation. Sam, out of Command or Conquer, would prefer Conquer's Bad Fur Day.
That is the better. Well, it's better than Command & Conquer 4.
It's better than Conquer Live and Reloaded.
It is better. Well, in all aspects but the graphics, because my god.
Like, you would prefer to bum it.
In all aspects
Would you prefer to bum
I
Conquer's
wouldn't
Bad Fur
bum
Day
any of
than
them. But,
having-
like, to be like, oh my god, Conquer Live and Reloaded looks amazing even today.
Yeah, I've played it for a while this year, and it looked like on an HD TV. It's just unbelievable.
How the fuck did they get that fur shader working? And like, my lecturer's the guy who wrote like most of the shaders for fucking Viva Pinata, and yet, like, I don't know. We were talking about it, and it's like, yeah, that game looks fucking stunning still.
Mm-hmm.
Sam,
I've just found a little multicolored poop.
You know
That's
what?
wonderful.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like one voodoo number that they've randomly stumbled upon.
Oh, probably. But
I
it
just
works.
killed Satan.
You know, and it's
Good
fun
on ya.
talking to Simon about, like, his time at Rare, because there's stuff like, oh yeah, they gave away their shader to the Forza team, like their fur shader, which the Forza team then used for the grass. Which
Weird.
Yeah, but it works really well. All you got to do is change the thickness of the fur. Make it slightly thicker and it looks like grass. It's great.
Grass, like, I don't know, grass models are weird in games. I mean, I was playing Diablo 3 the other day, and
that allowed?
I was playing a barbarian, and he's like really stompy, and he has like shockwaves coming out of his fists whenever he hits people and stuff. And I was just punching some grass, and it was cartoonishly wobbling like from side to side. It was like flying around, just like sort of the tops. It was long grass, kind of like jungly grass, and it was just flying around from like 45-degree angle to 45-degree angle, and even further. It was amazing. I was really enjoying it.
That's because it's so zoomed out. They try and run it really, really cheaply and have a very small degree of rotation set.
Yeah, and additionally, I think if it was very subtle, I don't think you'd notice it at all.
Whereas you've got a game like Dear Esther, which is mostly grass.
Mostly about grass, about grass
and
models.
they make it look pretty fucking great. To the point where Valve didn't know how they got it working.
I mean, really, Dear Esther, I think, as an overarching theme, mainly revolves around grass models.
That's what I took out of it.
Actually, in fairness, we played Dear Esther again recently. We played it on the big TV downstairs, and we went through it with a controller, so it didn't hurt to play. And, like, I enjoyed it a lot more the second time, like, proper trying to go through it. It's still wanky. Like, it's like, telling the
So they should basically scrap the narrative and just hire someone like James Earl Jones narrating about grass.
I would like that.
Maybe, but in fairness to the game, the story is actually, like, really good. The actual story itself is great. The problem is that it's just
not an interesting game.
A fun game. It's like, if you're a Source level designer, you need to play Dear Esther, because it is the most stunning visuals that Source games have ever managed to do. Ever.
And it still doesn't look that good.
No, you're completely incorrect.
Okay.
Whoa.
I mean, no, I don't even know.
You're completely incorrect.
Maybe I didn't play it on Max. Who knows?
I mean, I'm going to be frank here. I've never been since Half-Life 2, when it was just sort of like, wow, stuff that's been done that hasn't been done before. I've never been wowed visually by a Source game. Like, there's other things about the engine that kind of look good, but there is a sort of style that Source games have. You know, you can kind of tell it's a Source game, and some of those aspects stand out to me, and they've never really.
I find Source. I mean, yeah, you can tell when a Source game's a Source game for the most part. Even Dear Esther, you can tell it's a Source game. The real key comes in the fact, personally, I think Source games look Like, the common traits of Source games look better than the common traits of Unreal games. Unreal has common traits that just look fucking ugly.
Like if you turn around too quickly, you see black, you see white or green rectangles.
Yeah, id Tech 5 has common traits that are just fucking ugly. Sure, it may do things like the traits are different. Source, its defining characteristic is that all of the major geometry is block based. But you actually get a lot of flexibility with that. Whereas Unreal, pretty much everything's mesh based, but you end up with a lot of, I don't know, like the lighting model in Unreal is kind of dark. It's not very accurate in terms of sort of the way it does radiosity, whereas in Source, it does full radiosity calculations. Sure, they're static, but they're full radiosity calculations. So if you light a room in a particular way, it should be lit as though it were a real room, provided you set up everything correctly. Whereas Unreal, you're lucky if you get that.
Sam, I don't think you're speaking English anymore.
Yeah, I am.
I'm
Speaking of speaking, I wanted to.
I think the most important part of that for me was when I unlocked Eve.
Good on you.
To ask a follow-up question to what Matt said. Like, when was the last time since Half-Life 2 you were wowed by visuals? Like, period.
Crisis is probably the only time.
To me, it's probably Just Cause 2 and Journey.
Oh no, actually,
Oblivion, dude.
Oblivion's fucking ugly.
You're right. It is. But hey, the fact that I opened the door and I could see over to a mountain and I could get to that mountain rather than it being part of a skybox is.
What? No. I got that in Morrowind.
Yeah, you get that in Morrowind.
Okay, so I played the Xbox version of Morrowind, so I didn't have evidently the draw distance was just shit for me. So yeah, well, I mean, we're talking about our own experiences. For me, yeah, Oblivion.
Okay. Personally, I think Oblivion's one of the ugliest games I've ever seen.
I will agree on that.
I don't know. For me, Oblivion, yeah, on a micro scale, I think you're right. Textures are shit. The faces are terrible. A lot about that game is terrible, but I love it on a macro scale. You know, a kind of conceptual scale.
There's only a few games where I've been wowed by graphics, and I can.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Fez.
Okay, yes. Yeah, that's a different kind of.
That's the thing. I don't really care about technical graphics at all. It's usually just
art style,
like art style, presentation. Like I can. When you asked that question, I was trying to think. When was the last time I was really impressed? And I thought the Cara Mia song in Portal 2 was really cool looking for me. But that doesn't really count.
It cheats.
Aww.
But that's the thing. I don't really count. But that's the thing. I don't really care because, well, that was such a cool image. Especially with the big old jungle one in the background.
I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's cool, but it's one of those times where it's like, Valve, you do your cutscenes in engine all the fucking time. And the one time you've got this really impressive looking thing, you do it in Source Filmmaker? Really? You couldn't have done that in engine? Could you at least have rendered the cutscene at 1080p rather than...
But that's the thing. Source Filmmaker, you can usually... Whenever Valve do that sort of thing, a Source Filmmaker sort of thing, it always seems to have this, like, although it'll never look as good as a big budget film, but I kind of feel like Valve have so many options where they could be this fantastic animation studio that make pretty much film quality stuff.
They could do a lot of things.
I mean, if you're talking about, I mean, this might be a decent segue if we're nearly done with this topic, but if you're talking about like film quality stuff in games. Talking about cutscenes and stuff like that. Well, the place you want to turn is Blizzard, right? I mean, I'm not sure people do better cinematic cutscenes than Blizzard.
I mean, that is why eventually they are going to show off the trailer for Warcraft.
They are working on the movie, aren't they?
They are, yes.
They are. Duncan Jones, the director of Moon.
Jones, yeah. I mean, I'm super skeptical, dude. I love Warcraft. I love I love World of Warcraft. Everything about it. I do love fucking. But like, I was super fucking skeptical about Warcraft the movie, right? So, because this world I love, this lore I know, all this stuff, I don't want to see it fucked up. I don't want to see it, But then they gave it to Duncan Jones, and I thought, well, fuck, you trust him. Partially because of his lineage, man. I mean,
he has done Moon.
He did Moon, But additionally, he is David Bowie's son. I mean, really,
his father was Jareth the Goblin King, so
exactly. You know,
you
he's a
cannot
Goblin
actually
Prince.
complain about it.
You know,
he will steal you away.
He will.
Anyone who has a problem with the idea of a Warcraft movie,
will vanish.
he will come into the night and steal your baby son, and then they'll say, "What's said is said. You
But
must
when we
go
finish-
to the cinema and watch it, and reach the castle at the centre."
Nothing, tra-la-la. You know, so later on, once we've finished recording this, I'm going to go and watch more BlizzCon, which is going on right now as we're recording.
And in contrast, I will just watch Labyrinth again.
Yeah, and I'm going to be watching what happens with that. But
I'm going to be so disappointed if Warcraft the movie isn't just a remake of Labyrinth.
Yeah, well, no, they're making a Labyrinth.
They could have a giant.
They're in talks about a second Labyrinth.
They could have a giant orc character that just goes, "Little friend."
Seriously, they're in talks about a second Labyrinth.
Well, of course they are.
There's been talks about a second Labyrinth for a very long time.
I'd prefer a second Dark Crystal personally, but you know, as far as Henson films go, Labyrinth is actually my favourite movie. I don't think it bears a sequel unless it's like Sarah returning to the Labyrinth to kick the arse of all the goblins with an arm.
I kind of feel like As the World Falls Down is my favourite Bowie song.
Yeah, As the World Falls Down is fucking amazing.
Anyway, before you
in
guys
this Warcraft discussion, we completely missed.
Yeah,
right. It wasn't even fucking Warcraft. It was game graphics to begin with, and then
but game graphics are so boring.
Warcraft is cool, guy. Come on.
It only matters if you work at Crytek and you're bankrupt,
or you're a game developer and you actually want to make things that are decent.
No, you don't.
But nobody with talent is listening to this.
Yeah.
If they are, they
Meanwhile, if you don't have any good visual aesthetic or design, then what's the graphics for other than the good-looking grass?
Quite. To be honest, there are only a handful of games that have ever truly impressed me in terms of graphics. Made me say, wow, that's really good. The first Oddworld, or the first two, they really impressed me when I was little. Tacky on the Fringe was the first time I remember playing a space game where you could see windows on the star bases, and that really amazed me as a kid. Half-Life 2, the G-Man's Eye fucking terrified me. Yeah. Tekken 4, for some reason, I found that amazing. It was one of the first PS2 games I ever saw. Crysis looked absolutely amazing at the time. And I will not have bad words said about Crysis in terms of gameplay until the halfway mark. The first half of Crysis is some of the best shooter gameplay I've ever played.
So basically, when it becomes about aliens.
When it becomes about aliens, it gets considerably worse, yeah. But the first half, that's a ridiculously good tactical shooter with quite good AI, yeah, that's fucking excellent. And then recently, Monument Valley and Hitman Go both strangely really took my eye.
Oh, yeah, right. Monument Valley. That looks...
Monument Valley's... It's so basic. And yeah, it's similar to Fez in the way I sort of see it. Fez looks great as well.
Yeah, I can see the connection, definitely.
I didn't have quite the same sort of immediate wow that I saw Monument Valley. And same with Hitman Go. Like, wow, that's really basic, but that looks fucking stunning.
Hitman has a lot of impressive things with crowds, like the amount of people it has in it sometimes.
That's not Hitman Go.
Yeah, that's
completely different.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why I want to play Sunset Overdrive and get an Xbox One.
Hitman Go is the Subutio game.
Oh, right. I like the Hitman games. I don't...
Yeah, I've not actually played it.
The thing that bothers me with graphics is I just want games that look... Well, previous gen at this point. Like Half-Life 2. You can just make Half-Life 2 but put in massive crowds of people.
Yeah, quite.
I'll be way more impressed by that than any texture upgrade. Because those are experiencing diminishing returns right now.
Yeah, you'd be interested to know that they've actually taken out the crowd simulation stuff in Unreal 4.
What?
Yeah. Unreal 3 has crowd simulation stuff built in, and it's not in Unreal 4 yet. And it's not on the feature list for quite a way off.
Well, fuck that then.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Let's have slightly shinier grass.
Yeah. To be honest...
that's where I kind of feel like the whole technical versus presentation argument sort of goes. What do you want, Binding of Isaac or very shiny grass?
As a developer, games are now switching over to a deferred renderer, and that's what's the current next-gen versions of engines are going towards. Because once you get on the deferred renderer, you can do a whole lot more with a whole lot less. You basically offload a lot of the struggle from the video card to the processor that it can just do really easily, and thus, like, it can do a lot on one pass, and it means that hopefully, once the deferred renderers are all sort of optimized and shit, crowd stuff will be even more doable than previously.
Wasn't the entire point of beefing up video cards to offload work from CPU?
That's
How is
what I was
that
gonna
now
bring up,
taking
because we've gone the opposite way round. Basically, previously, the way renderers work is that you would render everything on multiple passes. Deferred renderer essentially means you don't necessarily have to do that, which means you can do one pass or one or two passes or like 3 or 4 per frame as opposed to sort of 10.
Man, you're so cool.
Which is good. Like, being able to do less passes means it's faster, means you've got more stuff to do other cool shit with. Problem is simply that, the engines just aren't optimized yet. Unreal 4 is still technically in beta. Unity, don't make me fucking laugh. Source 2 isn't done yet.
Well, Unity is run by the Kotick man now. No, the other
John
one. The other
Riccatello.
one. The EA man. They're both the same.
Kotick man. I'm imagining a superhero that's Bobby Kotick.
Kotick man. Canceling the rhythm game genre.
Shuts down promising development studios.
That
was supposed to be Stan Lee.
That's not Stan
I still like
Lee.
the idea of Willem Dafoe stars as Kotick Man
Yeah,
versus the head of Red Octane, who's played by Brendan Fraser.
I thought you were Brendan Fraser.
I've seen a picture of a Flappy Bird arcade machine now.
Oh god.
I did as well.
This
Sainsbury's
sounds like a job for the Kotick man.
in Sainsbury's the other day, I saw a Flappy Bird annual.
Why did Kotick Man sound like a Dalek
I don't know.
just then?
But yeah, a Flappy Bird annual.
What is that?
An annual.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's a book they do every year, and it's basically full of activities, and it's for kids. It's basically like a
it's half bird facts, half stickers of different coloured Flappy Birds, half just regular maps and puzzles.
Yeah, you get 1.5 books with the Flappy Bird annual.
Whoa.
Half sort of like public statements from the developer that he doesn't want to have anything to do with the game anymore.
Despite the fact that it's got a big copyright Doug Nguyen thing on the sort of in the cover.
Well, gotta make that money, bro.
Yeah, like you really don't want this for the money, and yet you're doing an annual published by Pedigree, really.
But I get the feeling that imagine if someone was to say create Flappy Bird dildos.
I mean, Sam would.
And everyone goes to him asking, "How could you do such a thing?" And he's like, "Well, when it comes to the creation of dildos, I can very firmly say that I had no role in this. But it's your birds that's all flappy up in the dildo." And
we basically just took some rubber chickens and painted them blue.
I have a real problem with Adam talking about dildos. I feel dirty now.
Oh.
Every time I mention a real-life porn star, apparently Matty feels dirty.
The thing is,
this episode is definitely happening on opposite day. I mean, Adam has common thing to talk about with Ved.
And, I've mentioned a porn thing.
Matty is getting freaked out by something Adam said.
I mean, Adam, he should not know. He's too young.
Yeah.
He's only 12.
Well, 14 since you gave him the sideburns plus flip-flops.
Well, I mean, I did.
That callback reference wasn't bad.
I did start cutting.
Because it was a reference to me, and I am narcissistic.
Sam, no, that's not Sam. That's Matt, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Matt, how many hookers have you killed?
0. I am a hooker-killing virgin.
Would you like to kill some hookers?
What about assisted suicide?
No.
I know something we can talk about because I'm looking at the trailer for Overwatch now. Well, the gameplay trailer.
Not forced at all.
Blizzard have just released their first new IP in like 7 years.
17.
17 years.
17. When the fuck was Blackthorn?
In the 90s.
Blackthorn was SNES.
Yeah, I know, but 17.
Like, seriously, it is that long ago. I'm thinking back now, like, they haven't done anything but Warcraft, StarCraft.
StarCraft was 98.
Huh.
Yeah, but StarCraft is sort of a spin-off of Warcraft, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
It
is postulated that they are in the same universe, but it's like, no.
That sort of helps that.
It's a bunch of balls.
Sure, but then the Diablo universe is completely separate, so I'm like, fuck that shit.
So Portal is a new IP and not a spin-off of Half-Life.
Well, it has Black Mesa in it, so yeah.
You can have
it's set in the same universe, and in Half-Life Episode 2, there was a bit where everyone was all like, have you heard of Aperture Science? And everyone's like, oh god, they're all dickheads, aren't they?
You can have something set in the same universe and be a new IP.
I think you can, yeah. I think universe and IP. Like, okay, so like the Marvel universe. Let's take that for example, because there's new IP all over the fucking place.
Yeah, definitely.
In the Marvel universe, and they're all set in the same place. Spider-Man and X-Men.
I remember this argument.
Separate IPs, but they're in the same universe.
I fucking know.
Anyway, what's
back to
Overwatch
BlizzCon.
First thing that happened in BlizzCon, I'm so happy about it. Mike Morhaime, CEO and president of Blizzard, gets up on stage, like he always does in the opening ceremony, and one of the first things he says is this. I'm going to read his speech, like the start of his speech to you. I'd like to take this moment to talk about something serious. Over the past couple of months, there has been a small group of people who have been doing really awful things. They have been making some people's lives miserable, and they have been tarnishing our reputation as gamers. He is calling out fucking Gamergate in everything but name here, right? He says it's not right. BlizzCon is a great example of how positive and uplifting gaming can be. Let's carry the good vibes from this weekend out into the world all year round. There is another person on the other end of that chat screen. They're our friends, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters. Let's take a stand to reject hate and harassment. Let's redouble our efforts to be kind and respectful to one another, and let's remind the world what the gaming community is really all about. Then starts talking about the new games and that's going to be coming out for Blizzard. Like, he's the CEO and president of a fucking major corporation. Like, you don't see people like that taking political stands unless they're really, really confident in it. Unless they're really confident that's the right end to be on.
Yeah, they're really confident because he's not a massive cunt.
Yeah, well,
I'm going on record here, right? The majority, and I'm not saying everyone, because there are many people I've spoken to within what is laughably called a movement. Sorry, actually, some people have called it a consumer revolt, which makes me laugh. There are some people in the quote-unquote movement that are perfectly nice people, and they're very willing to have a discussion and whatever. However, the large majority are complete fucking cunts, and they should all fuck off.
You know, there is. I'm sure there is a part of. I mean, let's not turn this into a Gamergate chat.
No.
But I'm sure there's a huge part there is a part of whatever's going on that people are just concerned about their hobby and sure will have a good time, but hey, looking at people who are doing bad things and having that as the impetus, like having the impetus behind stuff like that being I don't know, hurting people and thinking that one person is a terrible person, so you think it's okay to make their life a misery. Well, that's not okay. You know, it's just the everything you find in a frigging League of Legends game. It's everything there. It's bad. It's bad
now
times.
You've just insulted the League of Legends community.
Well, fuck up. They're monsters, each and every one.
Most of them are monsters, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I don't give a shit about
fantastic work.
I don't give a shit
Riot doing some fantastic work trying to sort that out, and they've made some huge strides. But still, because it's so massive, there's nothing you can do about it. Anyway. So yeah, Blizzard have announced a few things. New expansion to Hearthstone. Everyone was expecting it. It's called Goblins vs Gnomes. It's all about the engineering side of the Warcraft universe. Very interesting to me. Interesting direction. We all thought that they were going to go on a sort of World of Warcraft raids tangent when the Naxxramas expansion came out, which is essentially just a World of Warcraft raid. It was all themed around the bosses of that and all that stuff. Everyone was thinking that they were going to carry on doing all that sort of thing, that the expansions were going to be themed around stuff that had already happened in World of Warcraft. This is something entirely new. This is something that obviously is based around the Warcraft universe, but is sort of just themed. It's not, I don't know, it doesn't take anything from World of Warcraft. It just sort of, it doesn't take anything wholesale. It just sort of, I don't know, builds on it. And I think that's a very interesting direction for them to take. And so that happened. Then, as Adam was referencing before, they announced a brand new IP, which is called Overwatch. So it's a first-person shooter. It's in the vein of Team Fortress, I guess. It is the closest thing you could compare it to. The art style is, for me, fantastic. I love it. I love that Pixar, Toy Story style, art style. The cinematic trailer was something quite interesting. It features like two kids, very, very Toy Story style facial structure and that sort of thing. They were going through a museum is a museum of old superheroes, people who are like technologically or advanced or mutants or whatever. They all start having a fight in this museum. It's great fun. But and there's a giant gorilla who wears glasses, and
I'm looking at him right now. He's awesome.
Punches people, and is having a great time. I don't know. I just think it looks really, really interesting. It's basically, I think the idea is that they're taking Team Fortress 2 and kind of adding a sort of MOBA element to it, in that they or a team brawler or whatever Blizzard is calling things now. In that you play different characters, so it's imagine like Time Splitters.
It sounds a lot like you're describing, what was that called? Monday Night Combat.
Yeah, Super Monday Night Combat is a sort of, I don't think they're going to have the same sort of map style, get rid of, keeping back waves of bots or whatever. I think it's going to be a sort of Team Fortress style, maybe classic or maybe not. Blizzard likes to shake these things up, as we've seen with Here's the Storm. They like to make weird objectives in the middle of their maps.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm expecting big things from it, because I love the art style. It looks like each character is going to have their own specific, their own specific style of play, their own specific abilities. You can either be the person who lays traps for people, or you can be the person who flies around healing people, or you can be a giant monkey who's going to beat the shit out of people. I don't know. I think it's looking like a top game. A top game.
A jolly good laugh for all involved.
All I've done is watch the trailer.
I always thought you were bottom.
Oh.
What?
I mean, you keep talking on the top all the time, but aren't you a bottom?
I am.
Maybe he's a power bottom.
Maybe.
The thing is, this power bottom thing, it's very mysterious. Matt, what do you do down there?
Maybe I don't like to boil interpersonal relationships down to a series of dominance and submissive.
But holy crap, something just fell from my shelf.
Holy shit.
That sounds fantastic.
Maybe I like to treat people as people rather than whether I have power over them. Do you ever think of that, Matty?
The thing is, right, Matt, if that's your real name.
That's my real name.
You are just a little bum lord, so you don't get to tell me what I need to think. You're a bum, right? It is massive. It is delicious.
Mm,
and
okay.
I'm gonna have a slice of that.
No, you're not, because we are, we are just friends, as I've told you many times before. When you solicit me over Steam chat, Matty, I am the god of friend zone, and I will put you there.
The thing is, I really want to do you.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is.
I think
things will never be the same.
I think we're just gonna have to figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say that Heroes of the Storm, it is a nice little game for people that don't want to play something that takes a lot of effort. It's like a Smash Brothers. You just go into it, play a few games, and you'll see what happens.
I think you might be slightly off. I think you're probably about right. Yes, it's definitely going to be. No, I think it's definitely going to be sort of accessible. I agree. Yeah, there are people. If people don't want to deal with the bullshit of other MMOs, then MMOs, fucking MOBAs or team brawlers or whatever they're called nowadays.
Dota likes.
Dota, yeah, whatever. Like, I think the problem I have is that people are looking at anything that new that comes out through the lens of Dota or League of Legends. I think it's complete folly because, it's a PvP game for a start. It's a player versus player game. So it's not like the game can be super duper easy because your difficulty is going to be based on how good the other team are at it, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like most of the decisions you're making in Heroes, from what I've played, most of the decisions I made felt exactly the same as the decisions I made when I played Dota and League of Legends, but like they came more easily. Like the decisions felt like they were decisions at the time while I was out there in the field. I didn't have to go back and be like, oh, I've got this amount of cash oleum, I should go and make a decision whether I buy the gloves of hit people in the face or the boots of run faster. I got a choice between this ability will do a explosion, and this ability will do or this other ability will prevent damage done to you. The decisions made. I'm sorry, there are fireworks going off right outside my house.
Okay.
But the decisions I made felt very, very much more meaningful than they do whenever I buy an item in a normal Dota-like.
Well,
which I don't know. I'll let me finish and then I'll let you rebut.
Okay.
I feel like those decisions for the leveling and all that stuff, and the fact that they're different for each character, the fact that they affect my abilities, the fact that I can see the difference rather than it just being numbers and what have you, coupled with the fact that it's not a traditional. The objectives aren't as traditional as they are in Dota and League of Legends and that sort of thing. You have this idea of alternate strategies to and of course you have that in Dota. Like you have alternative strategies to win, but they seem very obscure in other things. You've got to learn the first strategy, and then you start learning other strategies, and then you start. Whereas I feel like in Heroes, in a lot of I'm just gonna go with just Heroes because I know that Blizzard did a decent job on that one. Whereas I don't know about Dawngate or any of the other ones.
That's fine.
I just feel like it's very appropriately flagged. It flags, it signals, hey, there's a different way to win over here, rather than letting you have to worry about, oh, I don't know whether I can beat these people at this level, or I have to work out the meta I have to listen to some people who have done experimentation with this item and this item to get a feel for whether I can even attempt this strategy. You can just attempt the strategy, and that discovery trumps for me. As a person who I've always wanted to like Dota. I've always wanted to like playing Dota.
I will teach you.
You've tried twice now.
I'll do it again.
As a person who just could never get into it because I felt like every time that I had to turn to someone else to say who had heard secondhand information about the meta or what you can do or why you can do it, every time something was not well signaled in the game, I felt like it was bullshit to me. As you can probably hear, my side is right in this argument because there are fireworks going off in the background.
That is an argument you cannot...
Matt, I do not have fireworks on my side, but I do have Jesus. And the thing is, right, with the Dota.
And Jesus, he knows him, and he knows he's right.
Bro, he loves Dota. The thing...
Jesus loves Dota.
Yes,
he does. For the fuck, I messed that one up.
Go on. For the Bible tells he says.
With Dota, you say that
is that the kind of thing that happened in the US a few years ago? Accept Jesus as your savior and win a PlayStation 2.
Probably, but what? Okay, Matt, you say that you only get items that just give you like numbers, +5 and whatnot.
I know that's not always the case, but it's so rare to get something that really changes stuff. Get 1 or 2 in a game.
I just think that you simply don't get the later items because
there's a stick that pushes people back. There's a thing that can make you
that's very important.
There's
a dagger that can teleport you short distances.
Yeah, okay, so Blink Dagger. Okay, you can get Blink on many of the characters in every MOBA I've ever played. There is the one that pushes people back. That's the thing. I can play a character in Heroes, right? And his ability, one of his things you can spec to push people back. Yeah. One of his abilities does that anyway, but then you can spec it to do it further. And I just feel like that should be interesting to me. I shouldn't have to go out and buy a special item to do that.
But Sam, the thing is, right?
For fuck's sake.
Okay. Okay, Matt.
It actually sounds like you're banging the table.
It sounds like
to punctuate your arguments.
I am furious. Okay, Matt. The thing is, every hero can't have the same abilities, right? Some people just have a big stomp they do on the ground, but they have to get close to people. So that's why they get the Blink Dagger. They get a Blink Dagger so they can combo that with another skill, and then other people can also combo that with other skills.
And that's fine. That is fine. Like, I understand why Blink is in mobile games.
It deeply expands the ability of a player to do certain things.
It certainly does, but
massive change. Massive, mate.
It does. It changes it a lot, right? But that's the thing, is that almost every character in Heroes will have an ability that increases their mobility, right? Whether it's offensively because they're a person designed for ganking, or whether it's defensively because they're a person who's just wanting to stand on the sidelines and be a support or whatever, and try to stay because they're quite squishy or whatever. They will have an ability, not just an ability, because the abilities are fine. You've got ability 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to, Dota Likes 101, right? But they also have something that augments that. As they get up to higher levels, they have something that augments that, so that you can either have it so this ability will, stun a person, when you use it, when you hit it, like, square on. Or you can have an ability that allows you to escape quicker or catch up with people better or whatever. Like, it's that you're making the same decisions. This is what I'm trying to say. You have a certain amount of resources, which are levels and gold in Dota. You have the just experience in Heroes, but it's the same decision. You're making a decision to sacrifice some potential power or a stun or so in Dota you make the decision to sacrifice some potential numbers for the ability to blink, right? Don't you?
Yeah.
In Heroes, all you do is you sacrifice that ability, let's say, to stun, to shut down and help out in team fights, help out in team fights, for the ability to keep yourself alive, and that affects your gameplay in exactly the same way as whether you chose Blink Dagger in Dota would. This is what I'm trying to say. The complexity is still there. It's just not as obscured by weird stuff, and it's better telegraphed.
Well, I just think that you don't want to put the effort in.
I don't want to put the effort in.
As somewhat of an outsider, having not played either, only seen other people play them, Blizzard's MOBA is incredibly simple compared to Dota, simply due to the way it's laid out. That doesn't make it bad, but yeah.
No, I think simple and well telegraphed are different things. I think, yes, you can have a simple...
No, I wouldn't say so. As I wasn't playing it, so I wouldn't pick up on most of the telegraphing. No, it just looked simpler. Alright, okay. As I said, I've not played it, so I can't really comment entirely, but yeah, like,
No, I don't. I understand what you mean by we wouldn't pick up on most of the telegraphing.
Well,
so
I would not pick up on most of the way the game is played, how the player makes decisions, because I wasn't the one making the decisions.
Okay.
So from what Matt is telling, I think Matt is trying to say that the game how Dota has, like, a certain ratio of complexity to depth. It's a very complex game. I think what you were trying to say, Matt, is that this other MOBA, I've already forgot the name, is way the fuck less complex, but isn't like the amount of depth it loses isn't inversely proportional. I mean, it definitely is less deep than Dota.
Yes,
probably.
I would agree. I would agree
but the trade-off of complexity to depth is not as big.
Absolutely. I think that just that making the game more
let's say it's
accessible.
5. Let's say it's -5 complexity and just like -2 depth.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's making the game more accessible hasn't necessarily removed any of the depth, any of the decision making, any of the sort of meta that you can go through.
Well, the big problem is that it's a very young game, so it doesn't have like all the heroes, it doesn't have the numbers behind it.
I agree, yeah.
Because Dota has 110 heroes.
Yeah.
Each with, 4 skills minimum, that's 400 that can combine with roughly 10 or so items even more items,
Yeah.
Dota has a lot of good shit on it.
Yeah, it does. It's don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that Dota is bad and the reason
I think you're slandering it.
The reason I have for so long wanted to play, I'm really glad we're having this conversation on air for once. The reason I've for so long wanted to like Dota 2 is because there is that incredible amount of depth that I love. I love Valve's business model around it. I love
because it basically gives the game away so that it's more so that Steam is more popular.
Yeah, but not only that, but when you play, you feel good, man. When you finish a game and you get that random item and the way that all that works and the way that stuff unlocks and all that stuff, they've the finesse in that is absolutely incredible. But not just that, I want to be part of these interesting conversations, but unfortunately, I find that. I think that were Dota 2 done again in a vacuum without a community who demand similarity to the original Dota, which I'll point out was a Warcraft 3 mod and therefore very very heavily RTS slanted, and I don't think a lot of the staples of the RTS genre work that well in a
Kind of agree in a few ways, because I don't understand why do you need to move with clicking? There's literally no reason for that.
How would you get the proper... You need 100% accuracy what you're doing.
No, you really don't. From what I've seen... No. From what I've seen of... Fuck off. Stop with your woe.
No.
What I've seen of Dota players, they kind of just run around in circles.
No.
Do that.
Sam,
yes,
that is incredibly...
it's incredibly true.
No, wrong.
It's incredibly accurate.
No, Sam.
No, it's incredibly true and accurate.
Dota is about 80% about positioning, so they are constantly moving around trying to get in the right position.
You could do the same with another control method.
I do think that, okay, so maybe, I mean, the big thing here for that control scheme thing is you wouldn't do it with WASD. I mean, you just wouldn't. You want the ability to, because it's so fine, fine controls, you do want the ability to, go, okay, I'm moving at, let's say, 0 degrees, straight up on the map. Now I want to move at, 24 degrees.
It's incredibly, you have to position yourself.
Fair.
You have to position certain skills. It's like you will move to where you're facing. So you have to be very, very specific to where you are.
Okay, that's fair. Why is it still clicking, though? Why can't it be...
What, do you want me to tell it where to go?
What? No. I mean, why can't you hold down the button and have it follow your mouse cursor?
Because you're doing other things with the other hand.
Yeah.
And?
You have your fingers...
still have to have your hand on the mouse.
Yeah, but you're...
You can let go and have it continue to wherever you let go.
I think
but
for me, it's
the only times I've played Dota, I've turned on turbo on my mouse, held it down rather than continuously clicking because fuck that.
But you have to keep your micro up.
See, here's the thing. I'm going to bank all this time so I can talk about Nintendo later. So keep going, guys.
Well, we're going to close out the show soon because we're running quite long.
You know what?
Otherwise, I will bore you all to death.
Is there fucking anything to talk about besides Splatoon looks good and Majora's Mask is finally going to be playable?
No.
Well,
you know
first of all, there's Majora's Mask on 3DS, which
Majora's Mask is finally going to be playable. There we go. That's that topic covered.
Then there's Splatoon. That's cool. Getting amazing. That looks. So that's the thing. You're all talking about this as if basically all I'm hearing from every single one of you is that, well, this game that's not going to be anywhere near as good as Splatoon is better than this game that's not going to be anywhere near as good as Splatoon. Neither of these games have squids, but we're going to argue about which
Actually,
one
that's not true.
is making a futile attempt at being a better game.
Actually, I'm fairly sure there's a hero in Dota 2 that's a squid.
Squid.
Or at least some
can he jump into ink so that he can move about and then slide into other things? Is Dota 2 essentially Super Mario Sunshine 2?
Adam, do you really want me to go into the exact details of Dota 2 characters?
No, oh god, Adam,
you will not describe Super Smash Bros.
Dota 2,
and it will all be pointless.
You know what? We're doing questions. We're doing questions.
No, I've got a thing to say.
Okay, fine. Okay, Larry, do it.
Okay, in my previous 2 disconnects, before both of them, I said I had a thing. So I have a movie pitch idea that I came up with this week. That has been in my head and it's been weighing on my mind. I want to
It's been a while since we did one of those.
Yeah, I know. It's been weighing on my mind, so I want to get it out of the way.
It's like it used to be a PodTea'd fan cast.
I know, right? It's almost like that podcast used to exist. So, yeah, basically, imagine this, okay? I'm thinking Willem Dafoe for the actor, but I'm thinking we won't be able to afford him, so we'll go for the cheap man's Willem Dafoe, Eric Roberts. And I'm thinking, right, okay, picture this, right?
All we need to do is leave a Big Mac outside his door and he won't debate any further. He will take
exactly,
the job.
For this film, okay, picture this. Eric Roberts is a talking cat, right? But when he talks to someone, you can only talk to him once. After that, you can't talk to him again.
Whoa. Sam, are you plagiarizing a talking cat?
No.
This does sound different.
It's a brand new original idea.
I do note some a couple of thematic similarities, but so far this is very different. Please continue.
Will it be exceedingly?
Please continue.
Go on.
Okay, so basically, he uses this astounding power to fuck with people. He'll go up to him and he'll go, "Hey, I'm a talking cat." You're a talking cat? Yeah, I'm a talking cat. And then they'll go and show their friends, "Look, it's a talking cat." And then he can't say anything.
And then you spend the rest of the film looking
with
at
a completely non-talking cat.
I like the idea that he talks once at the very start and we spend the rest of the film wondering with the character in therapy.
Yeah.
As in, we go through the entire process, including his wife leaving him, his parents pretty much disowning him because they cannot handle the pain of knowing that their son is crazy. He sort of has to rebuild his entire life from the beginning until... and it all ends with him having a new girlfriend and a new apartment, and it ends with the doctor leaving, saying, "Look, I know you've had a rough couple of years, but I believe that we can put this all behind us now. We can start a new journey into your life." And the guy's like, "You know what, I do think I am ready to move on." And then the cat just comes back again and says, "I like bananas."
Yeah, pretty much.
No. The ending is, "Hey, Matty Shoestring, I'm dancing! I'm dancing!
And then everyone in the room starts dancing together.
And then in the background is the fucking song from the end of Peanuts.
Well, yeah, that song.
The piano, yeah.
The
dance.
I think this movie sounds horrific. I will not go to the premiere.
You know what?
We need to do something with the Cat Matty IP, Matty.
We do, yeah. I've got a name for it, right? It's called a talking cat.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
An exclamation mark and a question mark.
And a question mark, someone's really "Oh, talking cat."
I've heard
and of course,
exactly.
We can't afford we can't afford any good actors. That's why we got Eric Roberts. But he's got a big enough brand name behind him that we can use him to solely promote the movie. Because, as we all know, without Eric Roberts, this would be like a made-for-lifetime motion picture.
Will he
This
go
would not get off of TV.
go on Oprah?
I don't know if we could get Eric.
Can I ask something? Can we make this part of the 1313 franchise so that every single actor is a male stud who is possibly a twink? As in, everyone is always shirtless all the time, and every now and then there's a 35-year-old woman who walks in.
I'm going to say yes.
Sam, I need to know something. Are you David Dakota?
No, I'm not.
We need to know now, otherwise
because if
this
you
entire podcast is compromised.
If you are David Dakota and you don't tell us, we're going to be fucking mad.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not.
Did you direct the 3rd, the 5th, and the 9th Puppet Master film?
No, I didn't. I directed...
Did you direct the TV movie Beastly Boys?
No, but I directed the scene...
Otherwise known as #Gamergate the movie.
Sam, did you direct Evil Eye or not?
No, I didn't direct any of these films. But, I would love to direct a talking cat. A talking cat. I think it would be the best film. This hasn't already been made, right? This is not...
No, of course not. It's totally new. Totally.
Okay, yeah. I was slightly getting concerned because it sounded like you guys already knew.
I have another question about this film. Okay. Did you direct My Stepbrother is a Vampire?
Not to my knowledge, although I do remember some vague fever dream in which there was a stepbrother.
Sam, we need to know, why are all your movies incredibly dick-centered?
That's Nick Cage.
Why are most of your films, why do most of them involve, like, these super buff twinks walking really slowly through a dark room until someone hits them on the head? And that's the end of the film.
That is the influence of Nick Cage. He's the producer on pretty much all those films.
Sam, please, could you just go to therapy and, like, hash this shit out?
Well, I tried to get Nick Cage to go. He keeps refusing.
Although, my final question, well, it won't be my final question, but I'll pretend it is, can you send me a signed DVD copy of an Easter Bunny puppy? Please.
You send me a DVD of it. I will.
Can you also sign the DVD copy of Cool Cat Finds a Gun that I have in the house?
Yeah, I'd gladly. If you've got a copy of the DVD, I'll sign it for you.
Sam, why are you the shittest movie director in the world?
Matty, I take offence to that.
Sam, seriously.
Is it true that you are the real identity behind Cool Cat, the star of films such as Cool Cat Finds a Gun, Cool Cat Stops Bullying, Cool Cat in the Hollywood Parade, and I think about several different marijuana propaganda films?
Listen, Sam, are you Alan Smithy?
I wanted an excuse to get a fursuit, so I made those films, right?
Sam.
No, I'm not Alan Smithy. I'm actually John Smith.
Sam, right?
Yeah.
Why do you have sex with so many men?
That's just coincidental.
Sam, is it the
I'm actually Robert Galbraith.
Sam, I hate you.
I wrote that book everyone talked about. People said it was J.K. Rowling, but no.
Sam, why did you write the game?
The game? I didn't. I wrote The Cuckoo's Calling.
What? You're part of the Ku Klux Klan?
No, Cuckoo's Calling.
Sam, your political, like, it. Seriously, sort it out, mate.
All right, yeah, I wrote it.
Don't produce any more movies like Ku Klux Cat.
Sam, why did you direct Birth of a Nation?
Why did you direct American History XXX?
Why did
Sam, I don't feel good about this at all.
No, this is.
I think here's the final question. Why did you direct a film called The Best Thanksgiving Ever?
Because it was the best Thanksgiving ever!
Because the poster does have a hand shoved right up a turkey. Is that why it was the best Thanksgiving ever?
Yeah, it's because we had a turkey puppet.
How much into fisting are you really?
Not particularly.
Enough to dress up as a turkey and have someone fist you?
No, that wasn't me. That was Nick Cage again.
Sam, right? Your asshole. Is it roomy?
No.
Can it take my stuffing?
Sam, we've had plenty of fun from this particular bit, but can we get straight to questions now?
Sorry, I just want to point out on this the best Thanksgiving ever poster. The poster says coming Thanksgiving 2014, but IMDb says 2015. So that means that this
That's
film
how
is
good
not...
it was. It lasted the whole year.
No,
They
it means
didn't want it to end, so they're like,
this
you know
film
what?
is
Every
so...
day is
They've
fantastic.
decided to take an extra year on this film.
Sam, right? Your penis is fantastic.
Well, thank you.
It receives emails every day with questions.
It's like girls just say, whoa, and guys says, harder. That's it.
Basically, it dumps like a truck. Guys like, what?
I mean, I can't handle it. Your dick is
all
just
night
much.
long. Let me see that schlong. No.
Schlong.
I still think that I still want when
Schlong.
I think when I die, you know they usually have a picture of you just by your coffin. I just want the poster for Cool Cat finds.
Okay.
Sam, why are you the greatest monster the world's ever known?
I don't think I am.
Okay, we're gonna do questions now, by the way.
That was an entire section of jokes that no one will understand unless they search for the same things I do.
Okay, now we're doing questions.
Yeah, I'm glad this is a video show.
Yeah.
This is a video show.
Yeah, my penis is fantastic, by the way. Okay, doing questions. Questions?
Yeah.
Not Mugen asks, what is the greatest thing on YouTube? What PodTea'd?
Oh, well, now.
Yeah, clearly, because YouTube is only 3 videos.
It's kids, do your homework, help your mother with the groceries, and then go watch the YouTubes with PodTea'd.
In seriousness, Vsauce and Veritasium are both very good.
I'd say
Rob Cantor's
all the things
Shia LaBeouf song.
I've not seen that.
all the things on YouTube, I'd say
in the interest of like keeping up the Rebirth theme, Northern Lion, right? He's done
cool.
like
He does
980 Let's Plays of Binding of Isaac, and the way that guy talks, like he does these Let's Plays by himself.
He's a charming man.
Like a Binding of Isaac run lasts like 40 minutes to an hour. He talks to the audience like the entire time.
After,
fucking
90 seconds.
It's
Well, he's
it's-
better.
like I don't know how that guy goes on the tangents he does. Like I don't know what you call the skill to talk to yourself and be entertaining, but
It's called being a
fucking-
broadcaster, dude.
fucking that guy has it. Like
Yeah.
I he is one of the people one of the content
Okay,
creators
I mean,
on the
you
internet.
already
I
know
look
how
at
to
it,
do
just
it.
go wow.
Travel a lot, read a lot, and that's it.
Yeah.
And practice a lot at broadcasting, because a lot of it is that. It's bouncing off yourself, really.
It's a lot of wank, let's be honest.
It's like I couldn't have like the one Binding of Isaac video myself and Matty did. Like I couldn't have done that by myself. I needed someone to bounce shit off of.
Yeah.
Explain stuff to. I can't
Running a
talk
solo
to
show
myself
is
and
crazy.
be entertaining.
Like crazy difficult.
Oh, okay, that's one.
My favourite thing on YouTube is the movie trailer for Dr. Alien from 1989, directed by David Dakota.
Actually, if we're talking movie trailers, then, or clips, Edward Tina's Hands is a masterpiece.
I'd say Kraken. Kraken on YouTube.
He's cool.
Does some really, really great, because he's not like a normal YouTuber in that he doesn't put out like videos often at all. You have to really, really wait for them. And when he does, they're heavily edited. It will have been an entire night of either streaming or just playing games with his friends, and it'll be completely edited down into the very, very hilarious stuff that happens.
Well, that's nice.
It's so like distilled down. It's amazing. It's really, really well put together. And he uses Banjo-Kazooie music for his background, so fuck you all.
Can I change my answer to Porn Without the Porn's upload of Scooby-Doo, a XXX parody?
Oh, that's amazing as well.
That's the official greatest thing that's ever been put on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with Adam because he's the loudest one.
Okay.
Speaking of Triple X parodies, when I said American History XXX, that's a real thing. Look it up, kids.
Of course it is.
It's not racist at all.
It sort of is.
What's the next
It really is.
question?
Oh, next question. Sam Patel. I wonder if he works at the Quickie Mart. Salad cream on chips, yay or nay? What?
Salad cream, I'm not a big fan of.
Oh,
Mayonnaise, yeah, I'll have it, but you know.
Anything
Ketchup's
tastes
better.
supreme with Heinz
Ketchup's
salad
better.
cream.
Yeah, you go for the mayonnaise.
I just want to say Patel. How do you? It's a great name.
You eat your chips the way the Belgians do, and just shove a load of mayonnaise into everything.
No, I think you're both disgusting.
But Belgians also have probably the best beer in the world.
They do.
Well, Adam, don't drink beer.
I was in Belgium just before my university graduation, and I got the worst hangover ever on my graduation, which I think was appropriate somehow.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fuck it.
You go to Belgium, you get fucking pissed.
Adam, language? Fuck's sake, mate. Okay, next question. Would you, Jamie Standen asks, would you sooner be a flaccid ghost or a stiff ghost?
What's a flaccid ghost?
Penis, not hard.
Well, if you're gonna be haunting people, the last thing you want everyone to pay attention to is the giant penis.
That's pretty scary to me if someone is going, whoa, look at my dick.
Little girl, I am haunting you now.
I think I'd hope that, like, I was wearing clothes in my ghost form.
No.
I'd be wearing a giant cloak.
I'd
be wearing a giant cloak so that there's just this giant thing sticking out of it.
And you have like a...
And it's really awkward, and it was like, wait, what?
What's that?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, scary. Okay. Oh yeah. I mean, I would go rock hard.
Okay, fair enough.
I would have to be like, I mean, it's hard because are you the kind of ghost that can't interact with people, so I can't dick them? Or...
It's good questions for someone...
Am I corporeal? Yep,
good question. Are you Blue Dragon corporeal?
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. Last question. Your mom. Ben Speak asks, when do you guys become an actual podcast? When we kill someone.
I guess when we continue. I guess. Oh, here's where was that from? Ben Spike.
When the police find DNA evidence.
Okay. How about we became an actual podcast when we could continue to do the same podcast for I don't know, over 50 episodes rather than 3. I'm just saying.
Oh, Shattered Podcast, you were a thing and I was on it.
I was on it once. You know what, Shattercast?
You weren't on it.
They invited me on it.
Oh, right.
Never got on it.
I was never on Shattercast. I was only on Shadowdime.
I'm so
I don't
sorry.
even have any idea what you're talking about.
Other podcasts that was fan casts and wank.
We are still the ones that survived.
Basically, before people in the Facebook group figured out that Google Hangouts was a thing, they did podcasts, and there were too many, and we survived.
Yeah, you know what? Because of little Adam Owen and his giant penis.
It really was a Thunderdome.
Couldn't get Google Hangouts to work.
Quite possibly. I think our incompetence has saved us. I'm out of questions now, guys.
I think we're out of podcast.
Do you want to do some cocaine?
No.
Yeah. Want to do some Dota?
No.
Oh, I'd rather do the cocaine.
Sam, would you like to do a twink?
Yeah.
Would you like a Twinkie?
I'd have one if you're offering one, but
I'd really go for a bounty bar.
Would you rather play Dota 2 for 50 hours or be a telemarketer?
Oh God!
Well, I get paid for telemarketer, right?
But we're talking. You're locked into telemarketing for a year.
Oh god, no! I'd rather play Dota.
Yeah.
Okay, 50 hours of Dota. Done.
Seriously,
I could have fun in Dota by turning on the dev console and igniting everyone.
That's the thing. I mean, but the thing is, like, I would love to have played 50 hours of Dota. But at the end of having played 50 hours of Dota, I would have something that I'd be like, okay, I might have pushed through part of the bullshit, like part
it takes 50
of the
hours.
bullshit.
Sam, you're just talking, Matt person.
Yeah.
I will teach you Dota. I will teach you.
You've tried.
Okay.
I'll do it again.
Matty. Craig tells me that in order to understand Dota casting properly, you need to have played at least 100 hours.
Yeah, Matty told me exactly that as well. So.
Yeah,
to be fair, in order to understand Binding of Isaac properly, you have to play probably about 150 hours.
No, you have to play properly, yeah.
So, see, Dota, right? It's a great game. You should play present Dota. Oh, it's really good.
But the difference between Dota and Binding of Isaac is that Binding of Isaac is fun on the way up.
Okay. What is the difference between Dota and your mom?
One is a woman in her 50s who who works as an art teacher.
Whoa.
And is very pleasant to be around. The other is a game, a video game.
I don't know. I didn't know that Dota taught art. We're ending on this, by the way.
We're ending here. So thank you all for listening. Prepare your collective anus for my ham-handed closing of the show. Unless anyone's got anything to plug.
Sam, I'm on Twitter for a minute.
Adam likes to watch WordPress.com.
Okay,
Adam likes to watch .wordpress.com unless because Adam's very quiet right now.
He's gone really quiet. Adam's been shrunk.
Adam's pooping.
Oh no.
Adam,
Tiny Adam is
can you hear me?
Adam, I'm gonna eat you.
Honey, I shrank the Adam.
Oh hey, didn't see you there. It's me, a Super Metroid from the game A Super Metroid. When I'm not busy having tentacles, I like to listen to PodTea'd just like you. PodTea'd are Matty Shoestring, Vid Sermon, Sam Morris, Adam Owen, Andrea Ritsu, the illustrious Tommy, and myself, Matt Turner. If you want to help us, Metroid, definitely A Super Metroid. If you want to help us, spread the word, tell your friends, and like us on the Facebooks. Thanks to Jonathan Holmes for our intro, Custom Phase for our theme tune, and Schnauzer Radio Orchestra for this music right here. Remember, if you hear voices from above telling you to kill children, be sure to check the attic for Papa Boris before complying. He is a sneaky devil. Thanks, and goodbye.